Welcome back to the 1010s Podcast. My name is Michael Beck with Adam Nielsen and Mr. Robbie Veerhout. What's going on, guys? Evening.
Evening.
It is evening.
It is evening.
People may be listening.
It's still
to
weird
this.
for me to...
Right, it's light out.
It's still weird to be recording when there's daylight.
Not mad about it.
I'm not either, but it's still weird.
It is really nice. There's even times when we get done and it's still daylight out.
It's gotten to the point now where I put my son to bed when it's still daylight, which is actually kind of difficult.
Yeah, that'd be difficult.
It's nice, though, because you can work on projects in the evening and actually be able to see what you're doing.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys.
that.
I don't have a ton of great lighting in my garage, so
I have 2 light bulbs.
there you go. And you can't really modify your place because you're renting, so
No, I just put 300 watts in there, and that'll be bright enough.
hope it doesn't burn
It's
anything up.
right enough over that one spot. That's the
I
problem.
got 2 spotlights in my garage.
Fair enough. Adam,
Michael,
do you have an opener for this week? If
as
you know what
always, I do.
I mean? Our opener is always presented by Eyes Up Auto Art.
So this week I was perusing my Facebook, as I often do, and I found a post from the Boone Speedway, which is one of our local dirt tracks.
Your hometown.
Yeah, it's where you live.
Not my hometown. But it's a... God damn it. It's rules for a new series they're putting out. A one-time event.
One time.
Yep, just one time.
That's not a series. That's a
Yep, sorry, I
stand.
misspoke. I apologize, Robbie.
All right, they're having
Yeah,
a one night
it's-
stand.
And I
It's not a
thought
relationship.
that figure eight racing was about as dumb as you could get.
There's no.
Boone Speedway pulled the whole hold my beer thing and proved me wrong.
Wait, you saying you mean it's dumb in the fact that it's like
awesome?
dangerous
It's
and
easily the most dangerous thing I've ever heard of in racing, and I want to see it.
I think
Are you
it's-
ready for this?
I don't think it's wait, this is the most dangerous thing, the thing you're about to share. I'm not ready to move past the fact that you think figure eight racing is dumb. I was going to
Dangerous.
No,
I was
by
gonna
dumb I
analyze
mean
that.
dangerous.
Yeah, okay.
By dumb I mean you got to be a special kind of crazy to willingly participate in it.
I would
Your
agree.
car will break, and you
and
will
so will
probably
your
get hurt.
spine.
It's not if you're going to get in an accident. It's when and how bad.
It's literally designed for that.
There is an
specific scenario.
intersection on a racetrack.
There's not winners. There's survivors. And that's why it's awesome.
I think it's even worse than Demo Derby in that respect.
It's probably much more dangerous.
It
Has to be.
Think so?
There's much more
More
speed.
speed? Yeah.
Much, at least at the track that I used to watch at, because it was banked. And so they were...
You would always
going
have.
for
You
it.
have. The cars are always headed towards each other. You know what I mean? If you're coming across one way and those are two intersecting speeds. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You add. It's not the same angle. You're not running straight into each other, but those speeds add up to some extent to create a larger impact
Yes.
than.
While the cars are safer, it's still a more dangerous situation.
Yes, I agree.
So
what
what's
did-
better than that?
All right, so I'm just going to start at rule 1 and read it down. Okay, you ready for this? Rule number 1, there will be 3 cars chained together, 5 feet apart.
You lost me already.
Chained?
Chained together.
Are there regulation chains?
They explain it. Just
It's a Boone chain. I don't know. It's probably just
one person per car. Okay?
Okay.
So there are people in each of the 3 vehicles.
okay.
Rule number 2, all cars must be front-wheel drive. No engines larger than 3.8-liter V6. No V8 or anything larger will be allowed. No trucks.
3.8 seems excessive, but okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing that, gives you your Grand
Yeah,
Grand Prix,
Grand Prix, your Buick,
Those
Sabres.
probably only make like 150 horsepower anyway, so fair enough.
Okay, and the rest of these, the next 3 rules are rules for each of the individual cars.
Okay.
Front car has steering and engine only.
Oh, no.
Brakes must be
Oh, no.
inoperable by either removal of master cylinder, brake pedal, or cutting of lines at the master cylinder.
Okay.
What?
Car 2.
Middle car has steering only. Brakes and engine must
Oh,
be
no.
inoperable.
Fuck it. I'm out of this.
Do you just pull the engine at
No.
that point?
That's what it says. Engine must be inoperable by removal of plug wires, distributor, or entire engine.
You just pull it.
Rear car has brakes and steering only. No engine.
So only the front car has drive.
Only the front car has drive. The middle car only has steering. And
You have to have steering in the front.
all
right?
3 cars have steering,
Well, that's good. So you don't.
That's a
but only
Plus-
2 of them have brakes. No, sorry.
No,
only
you're-
one of them has brakes.
No way.
The back car is the only one with brakes.
The middle car didn't have brakes,
The middle car only has steering,
and the front car didn't have
and the
brakes.
front car doesn't have brakes.
What?
So the front car pulls, the back car stops, and the middle car is just along for the ride.
Why would you ever be in the middle car? I want to be in the back car if I'm in a car. I don't want to be in a car.
I'll drive.
but You would
We
drive
have
the
a
front
team.
car?
Yeah, I'll be up front. You be
I don't
back.
know
not
where
gonna
your
sit in
third
the
person
fucking
is.
middle.
You're sitting middle.
Screw yourself.
He won't. He wouldn't do jackass style videos for YouTube. You think you're gonna put him in a middle car with no controls?
There's 0.0% chance that I'm interested in doing this. I want to go and watch it. I don't want to participate.
I won't pay to be a part of it, but if someone's got a car, I'll drive.
Are there additional rules that we need to be aware
yeah,
of?
there's a couple more rules here that
What's the minimum intoxication level you have to have?
that's not listed.
So
So that's
it's
optional.
whatever you want.
It's optional, yeah.
All cars must have DOT tires. That's fine, whatever. All glass, chrome, plastic must be removed. Windshield glass is optional.
okay.
Battery may be relocated.
Thank God.
All safety first.
yeah.
Oh no, it gets way worse on the safety
Weight
thing, trust me,
distribution.
because this is like I haven't even listed the most dangerous part about this in my mind. All doors must be welded or chained shut. Fine,
Okay.
whatever. All cars must have seat belts with shoulder belts. So the stock 3-point is all that is required.
Holy
Does
shit.
it say anything about seats? Stock seats, I would
Doesn't
also
say anything
assume.
about seats.
Okay.
Cars chained together 5 feet apart. Chains cannot hook to bumpers, and no pipe can be used on the chains, which means that someone has tried that and they had to add that rule. This is where I really lose it. Or no, sorry, a little bit farther. No race cars may be used as trains. I don't know what that means.
Isn't
Oh,
Can't,
no
like-
race cars. No full-fledged race cars, I think is what
Oh, they're calling
saying.
this a train.
Yeah, these are
Oh,
trains.
we're train racing.
These are trains.
This is stupid.
No full-fledged race cars. So no roll bars are allowed past the firewalls, engine area or trunk and into the car. You may have a roll bar for driver protection only inside of the cab of the car. My issue with that rule is that it says may and not must.
So technically, we could go find any piece of shit car
You find 3 cars.
with smaller than 3.8
You need
liter
one of them
engines.
that has a motor. No, the other 2, they don't need engines.
That's true.
You only
Fair
need
enough.
one car that has an engine and is front wheel drive. You need one car that only has steering, and you need one car that steers and brakes.
We could do that.
We could. Do you want to do that, Robbie?
No.
Really? Seriously?
I'm not against it.
I am.
You want to get in a car that they're 3 cars that they're calling a train?
I just
in
can't
quotes.
get over this. You may have roll protection
no
inside
roll
of the
protection.
car. Are you kidding me?
We can put in
It's
roll
not
protection.
must have. All drivers must be at least 14 years old.
Oh my god.
So you must have a permit. Okay.
All drivers must wear approved helmet and eye protection. Fire suits are recommended,
I would say that's
not
fair.
required.
No, of course not.
Any cars coming unhooked from each other will be disqualified, black flagged, and must stop or exit the track. Race will be 20 laps or when one train is left pulling, whichever comes first.
So it's a legitimate race.
$50 entry fee, winner takes all, $500 guaranteed, $1,000 to win if 10 or more cars show up.
My biggest concern is when it does break and the car without any stopping power is just careening towards the spectators. That will happen.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If the chain breaks
Because one of their last
on the
rules
cars
is
without the brakes,
that car's
that's-
super fucked.
that's
I think that's why they're requiring that you have front wheel drive cars that don't have large motors, is because you're only going to be able to go so fast, and if the car in the back that has the brakes comes apart, the other 2 cars are just going to hit the wall and stop.
Or plow through the fence.
No, it's a pretty heavy. I mean, this is, that wall
Yeah.
is designed to stop.
Sprint cars.
Well, not sprint cars at Boone, but mods
Mods, there you go.
doing 100 miles an hour around a corner.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm sure they're going to be able to stop these, which I would guess probably won't be doing more than 50 on a good day.
I don't want to go into a wall at 50.
No.
I'm gonna be honest.
Especially in
I
a
see what
car
you're
that-
saying, but
Yes.
not for me.
No, and a car that does not require roll protection or a 5-point or a Hans device or a fire suit
or fire protection
or any of these things.
and doesn't have brakes. specifically doesn't have brakes.
At least in figure eight racing, you're required to have one hell of a cage, and that is why I think this might be stupider than figure eight racing.
So they're only going to do this once.
Yep.
Is
And
that
they don't
assuming?
they don't have a date. I think they're waiting until they get a certain number of people who have who have committed before they're going to put a date out.
I assume this is because they're just assuming now that they're going to get sued.
Yeah, one
So
time.
yeah,
and
this
it's
is the
over.
one shot. We're just going to give this one shot.
Maybe they do this every year. I don't know. I just recently, started following that because I know that we've talked about going and spectating before. So I started following that track so I can kind of get a feel for their schedule and their events and stuff. And this popped up on my feed, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
That's some super bizarre shit, man.
That's- Yeah.
It's terrifying. I want to watch so bad. Forget wiener dog races. Let's go watch trains.
If anybody else has heard of train racing, with cars.
Or centipede racing.
or or
No,
car
no,
centipede,
Car
centipede racing,
God damn it.
hit us up on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, 10 Tenths Podcast. Of course, go to 10tentspodcast.com. We got our store and all that fun stuff. Hashtag centipede racing. Make it trend.
That's dangerous shit.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. I don't get it.
I'm more surprised that the track's putting it on.
Yeah. That their insurance is not like, no.
Yeah, I don't have a problem questioning that this is a thing and people do it. I'm surprised that sanctioning events or sanctioning bodies allow it.
Yeah, it's, especially,
Or respect.
all shit aside, Boone's a pretty serious racetrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have one of the largest races for that type of racing in the country.
Don't they do the national mod?
Yeah,
race in
Super
September?
Nationals
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm surprised
I mean,
that they
between Boone and Knoxville, we have two of the largest dirt races in the country.
I could see it, my hometown of Indianola on their little track. They might be able to get away with that a couple times a year, but
Yeah, it's just
nobody knows about that. I mean,
Right, it's just a bunch of locals. It's not a deal.
And it's a small track, too. So, I mean, realistically,
Yeah, Boone's not a small track.
30,
It's a big
35
track.
miles an hour, probably.
It's a big track. I mean, I don't know what the mileage is on that track, but it's not small. It's got to be at least a half mile.
And how the fuck do you
If not
fit-
three-quarter.
How do you fit 10 trains on that track?
It's going to be a mess, dude.
So, you got 5 feet of chain, right?
Yeah.
5 feet. That's quite a bit. I mean,
That's a
that's a fair
decently
bit.
long train.
Because you're going to have, what's a car? 13 feet?
Yeah,
18,
sure.
18 feet apiece. What's that add up to?
Math.
That's going to be 64. Is that right? 64 feet long?
Ish.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. The guy
54?
the guy who
Yeah, I'd say it's not 60.
even if I don't know, do you think they can do 3 wide there? Even if they do 3 wide, that's
Maybe.
that's 3 full rows plus one guy in the back. That's damn near back around to the front again.
Yeah.
Plus, it's not going to track. The train's not going to track straight. You know what I mean? If you're turning, it's going to. The car at the back's going to take the shortest route.
That guy in the back, if he's not, on the ball with his steering inputs, that's going to be like,
Wait, so the middle car? Let's think about this for a minute. The middle car. I mean, is his. What all can he do from a steering
can steer,
perspective?
that's it.
Because the middle car, the rear wheels don't move. It's not like an actual train where all of the wheels rotate slightly.
no. It's
So
just
the middle
back.
guy-
he's
So the guy in the back, though, my point is, how much steering can he really dictate? Because he's going to be steering against the rear
that's
wheels.
why it's chains and not pipes. Because if this was one solid train,
It would, yeah.
then the guy in the middle basically would just be there for the ride. Because he would have no control over anything.
I still think there's a small physics problem here. With
In case you're wondering, there's a bunch of YouTube videos.
Oh, I'm sure
there really?
there is.
Nothing anytime recent. The most recent one is 2013.
Is it from Boone? Or did you just Google, or did you just YouTube train
Yeah, car train racing. I was just curious.
car train racing? Oh, God.
centipede racing. yeah.
The crazy thing is, it's figure 8 train racing.
No way.
What?
No way.
Yeah.
How about no?
That's never going to work. Figure 8 train racing?
Well, you'll have to stop.
If you can get stopped.
You'd only be able to have so many cars on track. Well, the problem is that the guy in the back probably wouldn't be able to see that he needs
He
to
couldn't
stop.
judge it well enough to stop, and then once he realized he needed to stop, it'd be way
It's too
too
late.
late. Yeah. And you just have a huge accident.
If it was figure 8 racing, I'm dibs and back car for sure.
Are you watching it?
No, I'm not watching. This is an article about this guy that randomly stumbled across it on Speed TV of all places, and he's writing an article about how he couldn't
How
believe it.
ridiculous it is.
And he said that they only raced for 10 laps.
That's all they got before
That's all
everybody
they
was
got.
out.
That doesn't surprise
So
me.
I suppose you're motivated to get the strongest chain you can get
You would think.
because you want to win. I mean, you don't.
Yeah,
want to
I
get
would guess
disqualified.
that. Yeah, and you're not hooking. You're, like welding it to the chassis or
running
you're
it through a bolt and welding it through the chassis.
Yeah, something like that.
Welding the bolt
However,
to the
these
chassis.
videos don't appear to have 3 drivers.
What?
They just have one driver with 2 cars drugged behind it.
Oh, that seems
Oh.
way stupider. Because when you go
And
to stop,
slightly more intelligent at the same time.
but when you go to stop, what's stopping the rear cars
Nothing.
from killing you?
Nothing.
Man, this chaining cars together and then racing them is probably just not a good idea in general. You find anything else interesting over there, Robbie?
I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
It's been shared 233 times.
Oh my
it's
goodness!
kind of a thing.
283 times. Sorry.
They're going fucking fast. Way faster than I was expecting.
Dangerous fast.
Not quite dangerous fast yet. Let's see how this goes.
It says-
There's a lot of like, let's do this and tags 2 friends. There's a ton of people. I mean, there's
I bet people go watch it because it's ridiculous. But shall we move on? Since
Yeah,
you watching YouTube videos doesn't make a very good podcast.
no, not really.
I wouldn't do that.
Don't forget, guys, to check out Eyes Up Auto Art. That's EYES Up Auto Art. Rob, you both of you guys shared something pretty cool for the Indy race.
Yeah, they had the.
I don't know if he did that this year, but
Yeah.
he had a. Did he do that just now?
Yep,
Yeah,
that was
just-
drawn for this year.
Man, that was quick.
Very high detail.
It's pretty cool.
Looks very cool.
Which driver was that? Do we know who that was?
Oh, shit,
specifically?
I had it
He
too.
tagged it. Dang it.
Terrible podcasting.
We're just not on the ball tonight, I guess.
You can go to his Instagram page and see a lot of what he's done, but this particular piece is more recent. It's just Eyes Up Auto Art on Instagram. Anybody got it over there?
No, I'm still really slow today. We broke 800 likes. Woo.
Oh, it's Ryan Hunter Rhea.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Sorry. I totally blanked there for a second.
In the DHL car.
Yep.
But definitely a cool piece. You can find basically all of his artwork on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Again, it's just EYES Up UP Auto Art. And of course, just send him a DM on any of those social media pages, and he'll get back to you and let you know. But it's a great gift idea. If you've got a picture of your car that you like, he can turn it into a piece of art, and you can hang it in your house, and it will be super dope. And you'll be the envy of all of your friends.
It's true. I would walk into your house and say, "Look at that awesome art," and be jealous.
Well, how many houses have you walked into and seen somebody have a painting of their car?
Not many. I've seen pictures.
Definitely not a painting.
Zero for me.
Definitely not a painting.
That's why I like to emphasize the uniqueness of this, because it's just
It's cool.
It is
it's,
really
it's
cool.
cool. It's different. So check it out. Dude's name's Zach. Hit him up. Send him a DM. Find out what he can do for you. He can do different sizes too. He can do small stuff, big stuff, anything in between. It's really customized, which is cool as well. Adam, you're flipping your coaster around.
We
You
should
wanna
talk about these
his
coasters since we're playing with them. So, fan of the show and friend of mine, David Allen, he bought himself a fancy 3D printer, and he printed us off these really sweet, customized 10/10ths coasters for us.
First of all, David's my friend as well. I
Well,
don't
that's
want him
right.
to
He's,
feel,
he's friends of all of us.
I don't want him to feel left out or anything. Like we got some beef that isn't real. You know what I mean?
But he printed off these sweet coasters, and he made me an Adams opener, bottle opener.
It's
So
funny.
It's
It's funny
really
'cause you-
ironic because you don't drink.
But I have used it.
What'd you open?
Glass bottled soda.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like cat food or something.
Nah, glass bottled soda.
What? He's a crazy cat.
I know he's a crazy
I'm
cat.
not.
That's why I laughed.
But I'm like,
Dude, don't even start with me about not being a crazy cat.
I am
lady.
a crazy cat lady. I would never deny such, but I would never feed my cats canned cat food because I don't love them that much.
Oh,
He's a average crazy cat lady.
They can,
He's a
well,
dry
I'm-
food crazy
I'm
cat
a broke crazy cat lady is really the issue.
just dry food.
Yeah,
All
just
day.
straight dry food. They don't seem to mind.
lady. When's the last time we talked about Stance Cat?
We don't talk about him.
people
very
know
often.
about Stance
Kind
Cat?
of mad about him right
Well-
now.
Mad about him?
Yeah.
What did he do?
He's developed well. So since we have a child now, we had to put up a safety gate to quarantine him into certain sections of the house.
Yeah.
And Stance Cat apparently doesn't have time to jump over that and go to his litter box, so he'll just pee on the floor.
Yeah, but dude, he's short.
Yeah, well,
You can't like make a cat door.
We bought the one with a pet door on it. It's big enough that Logan can crawl through it.
That's not ideal.
And so that's what he does. And so I have to latch it all the time. So I'm not super pumped about Stan's cat right now. We're kind of on the fence about whether he's going to stay or not.
Ooh. Stan's cat might be available for adoption.
So if anybody wants a Munchkin,
which is
a super rare cat.
He calls him a Stance cat because he's literally stanced. He's like a dachshund.
Like a corgi.
Or is it a corgi or a dachshund?
Corgis.
Both.
Both?
Yeah, both
Are they
have
both
really
short like that? So he's got the mini legs, but he's
got really short legs. He's got kind of like a drag rake to him because his back haunches are a little bit taller than his front.
He's got an interesting look to him. What's his actual name?
Coney.
Coney, that's right. Oh, okay, now it's all coming together again. I remember.
Get it?
It's suspension. Yeah, it's all Stance stuff.
I don't think there's very many Stance cars with Coney on them.
That's true. But I mean, what are you going to call your cat? KW or
Yeah.
It's just
Raceland. I mean,
Raceland.
that doesn't really work.
It's not really a good name for a cat. So I see where it's at.
My dad has this thing about naming all of his shop cats car names. Like we've had Holly and Carter.
So you're running out of names, is what you're saying.
And well, I like Coney. I thought sounded like a good cat name.
Coney sounds like a name that you would just name something. You know what I mean? Like an average person wouldn't be like, "Wow, it's a really weird name." What is
exactly.
that? Is that a car part?
Exactly.
Yeah, they wouldn't have that moment.
I've had to explain that to many a person because they don't get it. And you can't even just tell them like, "Oh, it's a company that makes suspension for race cars," because they still like. But why'd you name them that? Because they lower things, and he's lowered.
Still nothing. Just
I like to call him the sports car of cats because he's not as fast in a straight line since his legs are shorter, but he can really corner.
Maybe you should have named him Miata.
I thought about Miata as well, but
or MX-5.
Miata doesn't roll off the tongue as well as Coney.
I agree. I think that's fair. Plus, then you'd own a Miata, and
and I don't want to.
You don't want that. You don't want that in your life.
Adam, the answer is always Miata. You'd be much happier with the Miata.
I probably would be, but that's not the point.
Reliability is not something that we're looking for when it comes to any of our cars.
I put like 300 miles. True. I put like 300. That
Dude,
is.
Don't even start with me on reliability, Mr. 2 SR20s.
That's why he put a V8 in.
Yeah, I went the other direction.
I know, but you gotta earn that reliability badge. We gotta see what happens here over there. I'm not saying your build's bad or your engine's bad. I'm just saying if you've had 2 SR20s in that car and now you've gone V8, let's just see what happens.
If you would have put an LS in it and then thrown a carburetor on it, then I would agree that he is definitely not after reliability. But
he may earn his reliability badge. Well, it just remains to be seen.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Not knocking anything. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I got shit on my dreams, man.
Dreams of reliability. Yeah. Robbie's asleep at night. He's just thinking about
just driving a car, not worrying about
reliability.
Yeah, I put 300 miles on the Omni this weekend.
It started, no
Boom.
problems.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
I drove it a ton.
Nice. That's reliability.
I was so sore.
Yeah, I believe that.
It was worth it.
Yeah. Just from the 5 miles you got to drive from Boone to Ames?
No, I drove. I put like 300 miles on that car.
Where'd you drive?
I drove it from my house to here for Cars and Coffee.
So Boone to Ankeny.
I don't live in fucking Boone. Whatever. It's actually farther.
You're going to alienate people that live in Boone. There's nothing wrong with Boone, Adam.
Scott. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I met.
Other than having some
I talked to Scott this weekend.
Other than having some questionable racing series, there's nothing wrong with Boone.
I talked to Scott this weekend at Cars and Coffee.
Oh, he was there?
He gave me shit for being late.
It's starting to permeate into the audience.
Yeah, he messaged me like, better get out of bed if you're going to make it. I'm halfway there, asshole.
Scott's that guy that wakes up at like 4 a.m. though, because he used to work in, I don't know if he ever did food prep, but if you work in a restaurant, you get up early, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'd
been up early. I just wasn't in any super rush to get out because I was going to the Cars and Coffee, and then I was going to meet my girlfriend and her family at the lake at noon. And so I wasn't in any rush to like get to the Cars and Coffee at 7 a.m. because I wasn't going to be there till noon.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I figured 9:30 was all right. Wasn't early enough for Scott, though.
Carl's and Coffee?
No, the Cars and Coffee, the group, not the page. Yes.
It's confusing and nobody cares.
It's funny, though.
It is slightly funny.
It was a good time. I enjoyed it. Some guy literally ran across the parking lot yelling, "Oh my God, it's an Omni," in seriousness.
Weird.
I don't know what that was all about.
You didn't talk to him about it?
No, I feel weird about that.
Was it too weird? Was it like, this
Well, I
dude's
wasn't
sketchy
by
now?
the car, so I would have had to run with him.
Oh, you would have been that guy. Wait a second. Wait a second. That's mine. That's mine. Don't
It's
leave.
me.
Don't leave.
I'm coming. I'm right behind you. I have all these things to tell you about it. No, I'm not that guy.
Yeah, we've made fun of that guy before.
Exactly.
That guy that I was like, hey, look at that truck. He's like, well, let me tell you about it. I was like,
Nope,
actually,
nope.
I'm good.
I just wanted to
I
look
just
at
looked at it, and I wanted him to look at it, and now we're done.
Because he was like, I was on one side of a car, and he was literally like on the other side of the car. So we were like 5 foot apart, and my car had to have been 200 foot away, and he just like hoofing it, elbows to assholes.
I wouldn't.
Just pumped.
It's an interesting phrase.
it. He says it.
Does it work in that particular case? Is that elbows to assholes? Or
Yeah,
is
he's
that...
running. He's pumped.
Let's talk about how you run real quick.
That's what they say when you're running really fast. Elbows to
Not in
assholes.
this century,
Get running.
but
Not in this century.
but they did say it one time in the past.
In the 50s, it was a popular
We've
phrase.
stated that I'm an old soul before. It's nothing new.
You're a grumpy old man.
I'll be 30 in a week, Robbie.
You will be the old man then.
Are we doing something crazy?
We're going to Grid Life.
Oh,
That's
true.
right.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Yeah,
that.
you're going for your 30th birthday. You're going to an EDM concert. Got it.
Hell yeah. Way to act your age, bro.
Yeah, grow up.
Give me a hula hoop. Shit's getting real.
You know what we should do? We should do like we should get him a bunch of old man gifts and stuff like that, like hair, those ear tweezers, shit like that. Do stuff like that for him all weekend.
Okay,
Should bring a walker or something.
Get him a walk. Yeah, at least a cane. Definitely.
he'll definitely be complaining.
He can hit the get off my lawn. Like,
I wouldn't
no,
be mad
this
about
isn't
a
your lawn,
rascal.
dude.
I'm just saying.
No, what are we made of money?
I tried to buy a Segway once. A Segway would be great there.
I
You
feel
have to have the
wait a
off-road
second.
one, but it'd be sweet.
I don't think people just go around buying segways. Is there a story to that, or are you just gonna leave us hanging?
Back when I made way more money than I should have, at my
you were
old
just buying
job.
segways and shit.
Well, no, there's a mall in Dallas, Texas that had a Segway store in it. And I was in there talking to the guy. He had some used inventory, and the only reason it didn't come home with me is because it wouldn't fit in my Audi.
How much is a used Segway?
I don't remember.
Too much.
$1,500? You think?
I bet.
I think it was closer to between 2 and 25.
Damn. What do you do with it? Once
Probably
you have
best
it?
that you
You
did.
ride on it.
And then
I
what
want
do you
one
do?
so bad.
I'm so glad.
I
you
think
didn't
they're
buy that.
rad.
No, they're not.
They had a Ferrari branded one there.
Which
That
costs
is
$12,000.
terrible. That is very bad.
Katie and I have been looking for like these little trikes that you can, you push your kid around, and then eventually it can turn into an actual pedal trike. They have like these combo ones, these 3-in-1 trikes.
Yeah.
One of the cheaper ones we found is the legitimate you buy from Ferrari.com Ferrari trike.
You're kidding me.
And it's got a little shifter and a fake steering wheel that comes detached when you turn it into a trike. And I'm like kind of thinking maybe that's the
To
one.
have
we
shift
need.
lights, crazy crap like that.
Should.
To have all the buttons on the steering wheel, so nothing makes any sense.
The turn signals are a button on the steering wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why they do that.
So that freaking journalists can complain about it. That's why.
Yeah. But we've thought about it buying it. I'm probably not going
Interesting.
to. Probably end up just buying a $50 one on Craigslist instead, but $125.
Oh, that's way cheaper than I thought it was.
Yeah, I was
gonna
gonna
be.
say.
I would've-
Yeah,
If somebody had said
$125.
if somebody said $1,200, I would have went, okay, yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I'd believe that.
Audi doesn't have one, so I looked.
Of course, he checked.
Even if they did, it'd probably break.
You know what bums me out? I'm still gonna say it anyway, even though I've used it since then. I'm still bummed out that people other than Adams are using Rad again. It just keeps coming up, and I just continue to be bummed by it, and it's just whatever. Thanks a lot, people, for
Jabay
ruining
and I
that.
have had a conversation about it.
Everything's
It's
wrong.
Adams only on the Rad, but it's coming back around. I guess it's like lit last year. Now it's Rad again.
It's rad this year, gnarly next year.
I have seen it on more than one Grid Life post.
I know. I'm
and
bummed. I know.
That's Jabay's fault.
Oh, it is.
He's
Jabay's
probably
doing
not the
it?
one who makes the post.
Oh, okay.
But he probably says it around Chris, who I'm sure is the one who makes the post.
And it's ruined other people?
It's permeated Chris's vocabulary.
Damn it. The problem is though, if Grid Life's posting it, it's possible that it could get like a subsect of people that are using it again.
Yeah,
and then it
exactly.
could catch on, and so
Like
now
lit?
it's probably legit.
This year, Grid Life's going to be rad,
We used to be hashtagging Rad all weekend.
which I won't be mad about, but simultaneously mad about.
I'm also I'm just bummed. Like it's so big that there's a car show now called Rad. which
Radwood.
bums me out.
I would.
It's supposed to be Adam's thing. Damn it.
Sorry.
I'm a trendsetter. It's not my fault.
Kind of looks that way, doesn't it? Just unfortunate.
I'll give the credit to the other Adam.
Should we do our topic?
Sure.
We were going to talk about the time.
Oh, that's right, Robbie.
Topic one.
Robbie.
We have multiple topics.
Yeah, that's right.
We were going to talk about last week when I went and got my car tuned.
Robbie did a thing. What'd you do, Robbie?
Well, I was driving back from Sioux Falls to Des Moines, and it's obviously interstate driving the whole way. So Jess is following me in her edge, and then we get just before Missouri Valley before we switch over to 80 or whatever the hell.
680.
680. So we get there, and all of a sudden a state trooper pulls out and clearly is coming for me. And I'm going the speed limit because I'm just going with the flow of traffic. I clearly have an attention-getting car. He pulls up right behind me, like in what would be my blind spot in the fast lane because I got over into the slow lane.
Which is really fucking annoying, and I've seen more than one cop do that. I don't know if that's a tactic, but it's bullshit.
So
getting in somebody's blind spot on purpose, that's fucking dumb.
So Jess is right behind me. She's about a car length and a half. Just enough room that you don't want to try to squeeze your way in there. And then there's a car in front of me, and then there's clearly a train of cars slowing down because this cop is
being a douche.
A moving roadblock. He sat there for at least 5 miles.
Oh, God.
Didn't never pulled into the lane next to me, but he kept kind of like hinting that he was going to do it, and Jess kept like boxing him out, keeping him from pulling me over.
That's because the whole time he's like running through his rule book trying to find a good reason to pull you over, and he can't come up with one.
He sat there, and he had to have run my plates for how long he was sitting there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Just sitting there like flexing up on me. And then he comes up next to me side by side and just kind of looks in and then keeps going. And I'm thinking as soon as he gets in front of me, he's going to see I don't have a license plate and then slam on his brakes and pull me over. Like I'm just sitting there waiting for it. I'm like, all right, here's my license and registration.
Get this shit out, put it in the passenger seat.
Like it got to the point where I was like, just do it already.
Yeah, shit or get off the pot.
You clearly got me going 78 and a 70. Let's fucking pull me over. I don't know why he thought he had to just sit there and hover for so long.
I don't know. You felt like he couldn't make something stick. Last time that fucking happened to me, I got pulled over and just like harassed.
Oh, I haven't.
Like how fast were you going? I don't know. How fast was I going?
You're the police officer. Tell me.
Do you know how fast I was going? Why did you pull me over? Do you have probable cause?
I got a 56 and a 55, so I don't want to hear you bitch.
Oh, that's fucking dumb. That is dumb.
This is the same stretch of road that when I was hungover from a bachelor party that I got pulled over going, God, what was it? Like 82 or something.
On the way to one lap?
Yeah, on the way to one lap. I got pulled over, and he goes, he asked where I was going. I was like, well, I'm just leaving this bachelor party heading there. And he goes, okay, well, we'll make this quick then. Hands me a fucking ticket. It's like, yeah, we'll make this as fast as possible.
Thanks, bro.
Yep, real kind.
Is that a 70 through there? 70 miles an hour?
Yeah,
Yes.
70.
So you're doing 12 over?
Something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of a hard one to get out of.
You remember, been 2 years ago now, we went and raced at that autocross in Forest City?
Yeah.
At the Winnebago plant?
Yeah.
And Jacob was there. Him and I were following each other home. We took Highway 69 because I don't like taking...
No,
at the time, I didn't.
You can't take an interstate.
I can't now. I actually think cruises down the interstate great. I fucking love it. But at the time, I didn't like taking interstates. So we're driving down the road, and a sheriff went the opposite direction, locks him up, spins around. I was following Jacob because I don't trust my speedometer, and he had cruise. So I was like, you go, I'll follow, and I'll just, judge off of you the whole time. Mm-hmm. So don't speed, please. Cop did the same thing he did to you, like pulled up right on my ass for 5-8 miles, and then locked him up, spun around, and went the other way again. Never bothered pulling us over.
I'll never get that.
Because he was running through his rule book trying to figure out if there was something he could pull me over for. And when he realized that despite the fact that this car looks ridiculous, there's nothing illegal about it.
Well, that's the thing about mine is he had lots of reasons.
But nothing like what?
Tint, no license plate.
Oh, I suppose you're
technically speeding, even though I was just going with the flow of traffic.
He probably didn't notice the front plate part.
As soon as he pulled up next to me, I'm like, windows down. Like it was like 60 degrees out. I'm like going, he knows these are down for a reason. Yeah. Oh well. I'm just glad he didn't pull me over. Super annoying.
It is annoying.
The whole time he's making everybody else more dangerous around you.
Well, especially at that point because I would not have deserved a ticket. If I would have deserved a ticket, by all means.
Yeah. When I deserve a ticket, write me a ticket. That's fine. And I'll pay it. It's whatever. But like I got 56 and a 55 when I had just been passed by somebody and he was still accelerating away from me. Uh-huh. That's bullshit.
I agree.
He pulled me over hoping I was still drunk from Visha the night before.
Woo! Visha. Good times. I don't remember.
Not anymore. You guys threw too many people off of apartment building.
They jumped on their
balconies.
own.
Too many drugs.
Too many drugs.
Too many drugs.
Too many light poles getting pulled down and almost killing people.
Yep.
Yeah,
Too
for
many flaming dumpsters down
Too many
Welch.
riots.
people that don't know, Visha was a celebration at Iowa State University, and people kept getting hurt.
It was a common theme to have riots.
It was a week-long party.
Riots.
The last one,
People literally falling off of apartment building
I think there was
balconies.
two or three riots in the time that I was there.
And
One was the year before I went there because I was just there that weekend for like a visit, and then one was the last year that they did it when that kid got hit in the head with a light pole
On a Tuesday.
on a Tuesday because I went out on Wednesday
that's when they
and it
said,
was super quiet.
no more. Not doing this party thing anymore.
Yep. But
What was it? What was it for anyway?
They were celebrating all of the different colleges. So like the VEISH.
Oh, I see.
All
I see.
stands for the different types of colleges. Like V is
Veterinary,
veterinarian,
engineering.
whatever. Industrial, doesn't matter.
Yep. It's gone now.
Yep. But I did find it funny, back to the original getting pulled over story, that as he's sitting there, I'm like, I'm just like, the best part is this is the only car I've never been pulled over in. This is the cleanest car I own. So he's just sitting there running my plate going, this is perfectly clean. Never a ticket. Knock on wood.
Owned
but
for,
10, almost 11 years.
Yep.
Never a ticket. That's all I got, really. We can talk about
That's
the
fair.
topic.
Should we do the other topic?
Let's do the fun topic.
So this was suggested during our AMA, or Ask Us Anything, however you want to say that.
AUA?
AUA.
Doesn't
Sounds
have-
weird.
It doesn't have the ring.
It wouldn't work on Reddit. Not that we use Reddit, so don't follow us on Reddit. But this was suggested by Derek, and basically, it's a modification of Fuck, Kill, Marry, and it's Rent, Buy, Crush.
Right.
And so he had a suggestion for what we should do, and we decided we were going to change it up a little bit, and we picked 3 options, or 3 cars for the Rent, Buy, Crush for each other.
Yep.
And we've at least got one
You guys want a
for
quick-
each one of us.
You guys want a quick run through his example of supercars?
We could do that. Sure, why not?
All right, his examples are Crush, Buy, Rent, a McLaren P1, a LaFerrari, or a Lamborghini Countach.
P1, LaFerrari, Countach.
That's really not that hard for me.
Really?
No. I'm going to buy the P1,
That's confusing, yeah.
rent the Countach, and I'm crushing the LaFerrari.
I'm very similar. I'm buying the P1, I'm renting the LaFerrari, and I'm crushing the Countach. And that's going to piss off a lot of people.
I think I'm on Robbie's side with that. As much as I love the Countach, I don't want to
pales.
own it, and I don't. The choice is using it or using the LaFerrari, I'd rather use the LaFerrari. So it's got to
I think if I'm going to marry or if I'm going to buy it, I'm so used to this fuck, marry, kill because
Rent and buy,
there's another
crush.
podcast called Team Clear Cut I listen to all the time. They do this every week, and you should listen to them too. But if I'm going to buy the P1, which is basically, it's a very similar driving experience to the LaFerrari. I don't need to rent the LaFerrari. I'd rather get the different driving experience you would get from the Countach.
You mean the worst driving experience?
It's different.
No, I think
Worse.
I think the P1 and the LaFerrari, this coming from a man that's
Never driven
barely
either.
touched them.
Yep.
I think it would just be different enough that I'd want to. I think I'd want to compare the two. I think the P1's probably a better car to live with, but I think I'd still want to compare. What did I not get? You know what I mean?
I can't crush the 80s car, let's be real.
Oh, jeez. Anyway,
I almost picked 80s cars just for you, but I realized that was too predictable.
I got some winners over here, Robbie. So don't you worry,
Nice.
Should we just roll into it then?
Yeah, who wants to go first?
Robbie. I could do you first because you're
you
first
could.
on my list.
It's
Hey,
it's a weird thing.
phrasing.
It's a weird thing to
Phrasing.
say.
All right, so I got 2 for each of you. So maybe we'll make these kind of quick.
That's fine.
Robbie, for you, option 1, Rent, Buy, Crush, S13, S14, and S15.
All right, I would buy the S15. I would rent the S14. I would crush the S13.
Really? You don't like S13s that much? Really?
And the only S13 I actually do like is the
Silvio?
no, but like the
hatch
hatch. That's the word. I like.
Oh.
versus the trunk.
Yep.
Oh,
I
man.
I like the hatches.
I think that the hatch S13 is the one I want most.
Really
I think.
interesting.
I could be wrong.
He's probably not wrong. That is what he would want.
See, I want.
I know it's a hatch. I don't know if it's a 13 or a 14.
I want the Sylvia front end trunk S13, but I don't know if I want it as bad as I want an S15.
I really like the S15 as well.
S15 is pretty fucking sick.
So what would you
It's
do?
perfect.
I think I'd buy the 15. I think I'd rent the 13 for a drift day, and then I think I would crush the 14. Sorry, Robbie.
I think I would be with Michael.
It's not neither one. It's wrong.
They're all S chassis.
They're all S
It's
chassis.
all
They're
a
all
good
awesome all the
choice.
time.
Yeah, they're all great cars all the time.
I was a lot meaner to Robbie.
Okay, why don't you do one for Robbie then?
All right, so since Robbie seems to always hate the cars that I love most,
God damn it! You're picking like 3 80s cars, and I have to pick.
no, they're not. Only
Go on.
they're not all 80s cars. Robbie, rep my crush, Porsche Panamera,
Oh, God. It's all-
Fox Body Mustang.
Oh, God. It's
Because
bad.
I know you hate that Fox Body Mustang. Consular GTV.
What's the Consular GTP?
It's
That
the
fucking Mosler 80s bullshit.
it's the Mosler with the Dodge motor
All right, I will.
that you thought was just absolutely hideous.
Well, given those options, I would buy the Consular GTP. I would. Fuck. I would.
Wait, you're going to buy that thing?
Yeah.
Are you so?
Are you
are
sure?
Are you going to crush a Panamera or a Fox?
Wait a
Body?
second, Robbie, let's be realistic here for a second. You want to drive a Fox Body or a Consigliere more than a Panamera? I mean, day to day.
Yes.
Really? You hate the
I
Panamera
hate
that much?
that car so much.
You would rather drive... Did you look up a picture of the
Oh yeah.
I bet
GTP?
I don't even think that air conditioning was an option.
Why would it be an option? That's a luxury.
Robbie,
I don't need that in my
Doesn't
It's a
life.
me.
daily though,
I
Robbie.
am crushing the Porsche, and I am
Okay.
renting the Fox Body.
man, that's rough. That is not what I would do. I would buy the Panamera. I don't want it. And I would rent the Fox Body and do something with it. Drag race it, maybe. And then I'd for sure crush the Mosler.
No way. That'd be the most fun out of the 3 to drive.
I would buy the Mosler, crush the Fox
Body.
and rent the Porsche Panamera. So
All right, anyway.
For the record, I really hate you guys for how much editing I have to do for the YouTube channel.
Hell yeah. Should we just say some other random car names right now?
Just keep throwing car names out.
Nissan Titan. What else we got? Ford F-150. Let's just run through some
Yeah.
trucks.
All right.
What about a 2011 GMC 2500
I'm not putting these
HD
up.
with the Duramax?
I'm not putting these up.
Wait for it, it's right.
It's just gonna be.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
Here it is.
Just a blank.
Here it is.
Blank.
Here it is.
Blank.
This is now
just
my
a black screen.
This is now my new game. Is just interjecting things into the podcast randomly.
For the
You need
record,
to
I do these too quick to get everything.
You need to get like a fuzz, like
Just a like
the
a,
old that's not
black
really
and
a
white.
channel, black and white.
Yeah.
The ants racing screen.
That's a filter, actually.
That's what you need for like when we go off on these. Just static.
whatever.
What about a 1994 Ranger?
No? Just by itself, just right there.
Bam, there it is.
Lay it on me, Robbie.
All right, I got one for both of you.
We're both doing this one.
No.
Oh, okay, individually.
The first one I have listed is for Michael.
Okay.
Your choices are for what is it?
Rent.
Rent, buy, crush.
Yep.
An R34 Skyline GTR,
34. Okay.
an FD RX-7,
Okay.
or an S15 Sylvia Spec R.
Son of a bitch. Crush that GTR. Get rid of that.
Whoa!
Just get that out of
That's not where I thought you were gonna go.
Just
with
get rid
this.
of that. And then I want to I want to buy the FD because Robbie's already going to have an S15 in this imaginary world. So I'll just rent the S15.
I would flip the FD and the RX and the R34 in my scenario.
I would probably buy the GTR.
You know what? I think I'd crush the S15 and drive and rent the FD.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
What? You're
Yes,
crushing the S.
yeah.
You, sir, the king of the S chassis. People come to this podcast for you to make reasonable choices about Nissans.
That's fine.
And you're
I
gonna.
did make a reasonable choice about a Nissan.
Yeah, you bought an R34.
Oh,
You were
no.
irrational.
No,
Apparently,
no way.
you're
dude.
the Nissan fanboy today.
I guess so.
And you're not.
I don't.
The
It's not that.
RX-7
It's not
guy.
that I dislike the R34. It's just I don't know. I don't want it. I guess I don't want it. I mean, it's cool.
Well, okay.
Given those choices, I don't
Since
want
we're
it.
on this topic
Yeah.
and we're playing this game, this is not the one I had for you originally, but
Okay.
32, 33, 34.
I had that one for you because you and your ultimate GTR things. But so out of those, this is going to be weird. But I actually really like the 33 all of a sudden. So I'd probably buy the 33, rent the 34, and crush the 32. I have a weird thing about the 33 all of a sudden. Don't know why.
Interesting. Well, I have one for you.
Okay.
So I'm on your Instagram right now because you are probably the single most sentimental car owner I know.
Fuck yes, I am.
So I'm going to be that guy. 2007 Trailblazer SS, 1974 Fiat 124, 1986, 1979 Camaro Z28.
I'd crush the Camaro, and I would buy the. I'd probably buy the Trailblazer, and then rent the Fiat.
I wanted to make him crush one of his own cars.
I get it.
Crush the car that doesn't work right now. It's just sitting in the garage. It's going to get pushed into that storage shed over there, and probably not going to do anything with it for a few years.
But you've also owned it since you were 14.
12, I think.
12?
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
It's the longest relationship I've ever had.
I believe that.
Think about it. By like 10 years, so longer than that.
You want to talk about your personal life?
No, I don't actually.
we need to
we
get
can
into
go-
it?
we can go down
We're
this
here
road.
for you.
No. Robbie's been prying into my personal life all week. I
Let's talk
don't
about
need it on air either.
Oh, come on.
Nah, not doing it.
Come on.
All right, Adam, I got one for you then. The Mosbleh Consigliere, but with the LT1, which was far superior, and Brock Yates would agree with me on that.
They did one with an LT1?
Fuck yeah, they did. Fuck yes.
Okay.
That's the one that got banned from one lap.
Interesting. I wonder if that was exact. Is that the exact same chassis or is that a different car?
I think the chassis is the
entirely?
same. It may have had a slightly different name, and the body might have been slightly different, but it's the same chassis.
Okay.
The GLHST, a real turbo Dodge,
Okay.
or the Ultimate, or no, wait a minute. Wait, is it the Ultima? There we go.
Ultima.
The Ultima GTR. Getting confused about our own joke. So Ultima GTR, GLHST, Mosler LT1.
This would have been a lot harder if you'd have done the Mosler with the turbo Dodge motor.
I didn't want two turbo Dodge motors in one scenario.
That would have made it a lot harder for me because I'm going to crush that.
Okay.
I'm going to rent the GLHS.
The far superior Mosler chassis, or Mosler with the far superior motor. Okay, fair enough.
I'm going to rent the GLHS.
Okay.
And I'm going to marry that goddamn Ultima. For sure.
If you can find a court or whatever that needs to sign off on you marrying a machine,
I'm sure
then
that
fair
there's a
judicial body
drive-through
of some
place in Las Vegas
In Nevada
would
that'll let you do that?
That's
let
probably
that
more
happen.
of a Reno thing.
No, whatever I got to do, it's fine.
enough. Anything flies in Reno.
Oh, yeah. Makes Vegas look classy. we should go to Reno. I got one for you, Adam.
Okay.
I was stuck with the 1969 theme here.
1960. I better get out my Google machine. Or do I need my Google machine, you think?
You should know these.
Okay.
A 1969 Boss 302 Mustang,
Okay.
a 69 Dodge Daytona,
Okay.
or a 69 Chevy Camaro SS.
I'm going to marry the Daytona,
Okay.
obviously.
Okay.
The question is, I think I
A
could.
Boss or a...
I think I would have to rent.
Should have said Z28.
Whatever.
That would have been the same. That would have been the same as the Boss.
Z28. I changed
And actually, the Daytona's
Take
kind of
that.
a different level because it's a big block car, but it's whatever.
That's a wing car too.
Yeah.
It's a whole different level,
And
but that's fair.
And if there was one muscle car that I've lusted after, it is the winged Mopars.
Yes.
Completely unrelated from my Omni
Non-winged mobile.
now. So, but God, I don't know. I think that my GM allegiances will win here, and that I have to crush the 302
Yeah, I'd probably do the same.
and rent the Camaro.
I'd switch the...
If it was
The
just
Camaro
an
and the
SS, if it was just an SS, I would crush that instead, though.
Yeah.
Nah, you'd crush a big block SS and over a Boss 302. That's lame.
Versus renting. I have no need. I'm not. It's not like I'm gonna own it.
Yeah, it's still lame though. I don't like those Mustangs.
Yeah, they're not my favorite.
That's the wide. That's like the big body style one too.
Yeah. I like the Mach 1s though.
I could get behind the Mach 1. It's a little bit different. Yeah. 70. I like 71 Mach 1s because that's like the ones that nobody likes.
Yeah, if I was going to own a Mustang, it would be a Mach 1 or an S550.
And they have shaker hoods.
You
the
know
Mach
how I
1.
am about the shaker
So that's
hood.
I'm all about that. But for some reason, people don't like those.
I don't know why.
I mean, people really don't like Mustang 2s, but
I can get
they
louvers
don't like.
on those. Which
Yeah,
is
I mean,
good.
if that's your thing, louvers, I suppose.
Louvers are good.
Louvers are a thing.
Very 80s.
It's very 80s for sure.
If I could get louvers for the Omni at a reasonable price, there'd be louvers on the
If
Omni.
there's one accessory, aftermarket accessory for a vehicle that is 80s, in quotes, it's louvers.
Absolutely.
Louvers and side pipes.
100%. Side pipes are.
That's 80s?
Should I didn't.
No.
That might be 70s. That might be
That could
more
be 70s.
70s.
Because
You're
didn't they
right.
start doing that on the Corvettes? Well, they would have done
That'd
that
be
on the
60s, wouldn't it?
60s Corvettes,
Yeah.
but I don't. Maybe that wasn't like
But those
a
are
thing.
factory. That's different.
You're talking about aftermarket.
Talking like
modification.
aftermarket side pipes.
What would the hot rodding stuff from like the 60s be? Side pipes?
They don't really come
I don't know. Maybe.
like they usually stopped like right in front of the door.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I always thought it'd be really interesting to find a car that was like if somebody had bought a Z28 or an SS,
Yeah.
and then it had all the original like 1969, 1970 aftermarket parts on it still.
Okay.
How cool would that be?
It would be interesting.
But you don't see that.
No,
it's like everybody
not
threw
really.
that stuff away. But
Because-
surely there would have been period correct modified parts. I just think that would be pretty sweet. Or rad, I guess.
Yeah, it'd be super rad.
It'd be rad for sure.
Only if it's 80s Camaros. Then it would be rad.
No,
No.
like you said, rad is ever. You can use rad wherever you want
Wherever
to
you
now.
want.
I can. I'm Adam.
No, well, I realize my wishes and wants for words, and the world has spoken and they've said no.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I wanted to reserve the rad for the Adams, and
I appreciate that.
everybody's like grid life's rad, and I'm like, damn it, son of a bitch. It's not what I'm looking for because it is an '80s word, and you guys are the '80s. You're the '80s guys, so
Apparently.
I think that was it.
I have one.
My other ones got screwed up because we went off.
Okay, I got
that's
one
fine.
awesomely bad one.
Okay,
These cars are, in their own way, liked by some people and hated by the general public.
okay.
So,
So-
these are all cars I love then.
At least one of them.
Okay.
A 2005 Ford Thunderbird,
Fuck yeah! Oh, this is gonna be a
God.
great list. I'm waiting now.
a Chevy SSR,
SSR. Okay.
and then a Plymouth Prowler.
Ooh, shit, son.
Oh man.
The way out of left field, really tough one.
Read him one more time while he's pondering
05
the
Ford
disgustingness.
Thunderbird,
Thunderbird.
Chevy SSR,
Oh, if you don't buy that SSR,
Plymouth
Yeah,
Prowler.
I think you have to buy the SSR because you can get it with the 6.0 and the 6-speed. So at least you
don't
can.
have to do anything.
So at least you can redeem
trying to
yourself.
justify it.
At least you can redeem yourself a little bit by having a good motor and trans.
Nope.
And then I am 100% crushing that Thunderbird. Absolutely crushing that Thunderbird, as everybody who owns them should.
no, I'm crushing that fucking Prowler.
No way.
Nah.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I
Dude,
want
that's
in
a
my
fucking
life?
lie. The Prowler's a lie.
You know what I really wish that I could afford to do? Stance a Prowler.
I would rather LS swap a Prowler.
My problem with the Prowler is it's the ultimate poser's car.
If it had a good motor and a good transmission, it would have been way.
Yeah, it
way
would have been a
cooler.
sweet car. I'd be 100% on board with the Prowler if it
So
had a good motor and a good
I
transmission.
know a lot of people disagree, but I think they're pretty cool looking.
I can't. It may be cool looking, but I can't get over how disappointing it is from a performance perspective.
Yeah, it's got the same motor they put in the Dodge Intrepid, and a transaxle, automatic transaxle.
Yeah, gross, dude. Just and you see them for sale, and they're like $20,000.
Super
They
expensive.
I'm
hold
like,
their value.
who is buying these?
Nobody.
I hate them.
If I could get a $5,000 Prowler, I'd stance the shit out of it
I don't even know if I'd want a Prowler for $5,000.
I
because
would.
it'd be funny.
Yeah, I'd have fun with that car for $5,000.
You guys know who Titan is? Titan
Fuel tanks.
No, the
Nissan.
Tires.
the Toyota
Nissan.
2JZ specialist.
No.
They built a motor that was in all those crazy cars from Saudi Arabia that hold 2JZ records and stuff like that.
Titan Motorsports.
Yeah, a long time ago, one of their fabricators' side project car was a 2JZ swapped big turbo Prowler.
I could be about that. That I could be about.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't want anything to do with the Prowler. Okay,
It's got flames on it.
I got a random one. I might need some help finishing it, but it is a Chevy HHR, a
Mary.
PT Cruiser, standard automatic. These are all automatics.
Oh, obviously.
PT Cruiser, and what's another terrible thing?
We need something from Ford.
Yeah, give me something from Ford
Something
that's
from
god
Ford.
awful.
Let's see here.
How about a Mustang too? Is that too much?
That's not really fitting, though.
It's not the same.
Because the PT Cruiser and the HHR are very
How about
similar
the
car.
The Ford Flex thing. That boxy looking.
No, I like those. You can get
No.
a twin turbo EcoBoost.
Can you really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 350
Chaz
horsepower.
really, really wanted one.
How about a Scion XB?
But I like the Scion XB.
So do I. They're so practical.
Yeah, so that's
That
not gonna
actually
work.
makes it hard for me. Because I was just going to marry the HHR.
It doesn't surprise me that an XB makes you hard.
Hey, crazy.
Whoa.
Okay, you have to buy or you have to crush one of those two. Let's go with that. Unless somebody can come up with something else.
I would crush the HHR.
No, I'm crushing the PT Cruiser. It's the most miserable thing on the planet.
Yeah, I'm crushing the PT Cruiser.
I'm going to
also.
pull the Watts link out from underneath it, and then I'm going to crush it. And I'm going to put that Watts link on my Omni.
Okay.
Because I have a Watts link rear suspension for some crazy reason.
But otherwise, they're complete and utter garbage.
What I think is funny is that you could get them with a 5-speed and a turbo.
Yeah, nobody talks about that.
Sleeper status.
You could get, is it a Caliber? A Dodge Caliber.
SRT.
Yeah.
An SRT4 Caliber.
Yeah.
Caliber would be a good third car for that list. Even though
You
I
think
know
so?
That's yeah, because they're very similar.
Yeah.
They fill a similar market.
But I feel like if you own a Caliber,
they're absolutely terrible.
I feel like if you own a Caliber, you're not. It's not as bad as owning a PT Cruiser.
So how about a turbo 5-speed PT Cruiser,
Okay.
a Caliber SRT4,
Okay.
or an HHR SS?
Oh, HHRSS definitely.
Caliber.
I would buy it. The HHR I would buy. I would rent the Caliber because I'd want to see if it was sweet or not. Might be sweet, might be fast. And I would crush the PT Cruiser and any other PT Cruiser I get my hands on.
I think that I would rent the PT Cruiser and troll Hondas.
I don't know
a
if they
day.
were ever fast
Just for a
enough to
day.
rent to troll a Honda though, were they?
They're turboed.
Well, I
How
know,
bad
but
can it be? So I'll just get a manual boost controller on eBay and crank that shit to the moon. Just pull the wastegate actuator off so it just builds all the boost all the time.
you might be able to do that. It makes
I only need it to last one
it
day.
it only makes 220 horsepower.
That's not that bad when you're racing, B18 swapped Hondas that make 150.
Yeah, but it weighs what's it weigh? A billion pounds. I don't know. I can't find that information. 3,400 pounds. Jesus.
It's the same as a Camaro.
Jesus. 3,400 pounds and 200. That's not enough power.
No, that's.
I don't know that you'd be trolling very many Hondas. But
I thought
anyway,
about that motor in my car because it's a real easy swap. Dual
say
overhead
it's
cam.
like the same motor.
The PT Cruiser and the Neon are the same thing. The
Like
first
chassis-wise?
gen Neon and a PT Cruiser are the same vehicle. Chassis wise, drivetrain wise.
Didn't they
whole
make
nine
the first Neon in like the 90s though?
Yeah, but they made it all the way like forever.
You're talking about they didn't change the chassis when they went to different generations?
The SRT4 is a different chassis.
Okay.
That's Gen 2 of the Neon.
I see what you're saying. I thought you were talking about the Gen 1 Neon, which came out in like the early 90s. It's like
Yeah, they made it all the way through like
forever.
when the SRT4 came out in probably 99, 2000.
Yeah. Robert, are you furiously Google fooing something over there?
Nah, I got nothing.
Oh, okay. I think that's it, unless somebody else has another one.
No, I'm out. I ran out of.
Those are fun. I like those.
Yeah. All I can think about is editing these stupid things.
Wait. Wait. What are we going to put here, Adam? Pick
Our
a car
logo,
quick.
because it doesn't matter.
A Lotus Exige.
Citroen 2CV.
Ooh, Citroen 2 CV would be good. Say it one more time.
I hope everybody appreciates
Citroen.
2CV.
our
2CV.
logo that's being drug across here.
Citron.
Citroen.
You could just do badge.
Citroen
and badge.
DS.
But then when he says DS Racing, you could do the DS now, and then you could do a DS Racing right now.
What's DS Racing?
It's like the GTI version. So there's a regular DS.
There's a. Oh, I was talking like the old one.
Well, shit.
I was gonna-
Now we're gonna have to go back.
Oh, there's
He's gonna go-
multiple Citroen DSs.
So there's the
apparently.
old DS. Yeah. So there's a new DS.
Oh.
This a little hot hatch, and then right now you're gonna see a DS Racing and how that's different.
And then you'll have the original.
Now we're going back to the original.
DS,
DS.
which is one of the funky, coolest cars ever made.
And one of the not funky coolest cars ever made would be the 2CV, which is right
2CV,
now.
which is right
Now.
here.
Yep. You can see it on YouTube.
You
Probably
can't.
so pissed.
Trust me, you can't. You'll see a nice logo. So you're wasting my time.
I'm going to watch this episode just for this.
That's fine. As long as people are watching.
All right, should we do the news?
Please, for the love of God, let us do the news.
Why are you such a hater?
So the Indy 500 was last Sunday.
Was it really?
Yeah.
What happened? Did anything interesting happen? No,
Yeah,
okay, next thing.
a demolition derby. Like half of the
Robbie
cars.
Robbie
crashed.
was on
Were they
vacation.
chained together?
No, Adam.
Ah,
Robbie
bummer.
was on vacation, and he told everybody to get stuffed while he took over the living room and watched racing all weekend, or all of
true.
Sunday.
Well, I was disappointed. I get down there and Jess is like, "Yeah, we don't have any internet." I'm like, well, "Okay, how am I supposed to watch this? Because if you don't have internet, I assume you don't have cable." Nah, don't worry. They had Dish. We're fine.
So they have Dish,
Yeah.
but they have no internet, but they have Dish.
Yep. So woke up. Well, I could just tell
Excuse
the whole
me.
day. Woke up right away on Sunday morning. Watched Formula One, and then actually did family things for a while, and then went back and watched all the Indy race. It was great. That's exactly how you should spend your Memorial Day Sunday.
You going to provide us some commentary on the Indy race and what happened?
Takuma Sato won the race after the demolition derby that was the race.
This is not his first win, is it?
No, but it's his first Indy. He's the first Japanese-born person to win the Indy 500.
Oh, really? I thought he'd won it before.
He did not.
Okay.
IndyCar's kind of become like a multicultural.
Thing.
It's everybody, all kinds of different
Yep.
people from all kinds of different
Well,
places.
Especially the 500, I think.
Yeah.
Tom wasn't Tom Chilton in this race? I'm pretty sure he was. I think he's a UK
Is that
citizen.
an actor?
No, I think he used to race. He used to race. What did he used to race in? Maybe BTCC or something like that.
Max Chilton.
Max Chilton, is he from the UK?
I don't know.
I think I'm thinking of Tom Chilton. Where's Max Chilton from?
Please hold.
But anyway, it is.
Fernando Alonso, he's foreign.
Yeah, it's definitely turned into. I was surprised even at the Corn Indy 250. Yeah, 250.
There was Pagana.
Yeah.
You
Max
imagine
Chilton is from, he's British.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Was Willpower in the race?
He's the one that had that insane wreck.
Willpower.
Oh, that's right. I do
'Cause-
remember that now.
Yeah, he was.
Greatest
I
name
thought
ever
for
still.
sure he was super dead. That crash is the worst racing crash I've seen in a while. Just in the air, upside down, barrel it into the fence. And he just kind of casually walks out of it like, oh,
Did you see
we're
the
good.
crash in qualifying where the dude hit the wall at 230?
I didn't see that. I didn't see that one.
Whoa.
That would suck.
Can you imagine?
That would hurt
230.
to nothing.
Just like understeered straight into the wall. Bam.
Okay, I think I did see that. Yeah, no, this he Willpower launched off
Willpower.
off of someone else's wheel basically, and flips upside down and crashed. And
Do you think they'll ever limit IndyCar? Because 230 or 230, man, that's fast.
That's really fast.
That's booking it,
It's
man.
way.
Is that
But
necessary?
they kind of have limited Indy because they don't make near the power that they made like back when
Like the-
Ross Bentley was
the
racing
90s
even.
and stuff.
Like
was
so
all
if they made that kind of power with the modern level of
Oh, no,
weight
that would
and
be insane.
aerodynamic, downforce without as significant drag, they'd probably be doing well more than what they're doing now. They already have limited them at some level.
230 just sounds like a lot.
It's
Every time I
probably
see
fast.
it, every time I see qualifying speeds, I'm like, man, that seems really
that's-
high.
The qualifying speeds that they show, those are averaged.
Yeah, so you could be doing more than that.
You have to be at some point because you got to slow down. They lift for the corner.
So much.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So anyway, any other significant crashes? People blowing up engines of a particular manufacturer by chance?
Oh, geez,
Are you hinting at something?
you're buying into that too.
No, I'm just saying.
I was gonna say everyone's just like, "Oh, Honda sucks. Alonso can't catch a break." It's like he was one of 2 people that blew up an engine out of what 33.
Yeah, because there's only 2 engine manufacturers in Honda.
Yeah, so it was like
in
Indy. Everyone kept like that's all the articles kept saying was like Honda sucks on both IndyCar and Formula One. They can't make a decent engine. I'm like, they had like 20 other engines finish the race that didn't crash. Like, their Indy engines are good. Don't give me that shit.
Wouldn't you be super pissed though if you were Alonso and your engine blew up?
182 laps and then it blew up.
Yeah, that would
so pissed.
Fucking suck. I'd be so angry, especially since he left Formula One for that very same problem.
Yep, he had a good race. Like he was running way up front. I think he was in 7th when he crashed, but he spent most of the time and most of the race he was in 3rd or 4th. I mean, he did well.
He was doing well.
He was in 1st for a while. Obviously, during an IndyCar race, they switched throughout the whole time, and then like the last 20 some odd laps are when it really heats up. And then, of course, on laps, there were 16 laps left, I think, when they had that big wreck and took out like 6 cars.
So does that get repetitive to watch?
Yes. I took a nap.
Does it get hard to watch?
I watched the first hour pretty intently, and then I bet I dozed off for about 20 minutes and then watched the rest of it. And then it got really exciting for the last half hour.
That's how Katie's dad watches NASCAR races, too.
I think that's how the general public
Nap
watches.
in the middle.
Yep.
I think you're supposed to get shit-faced, though, before, and then get all excited about the beginning. And then
Only
you
if
take
you're
that,
watching.
You take
like
that
if you're
drunk nap.
there.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you're just sitting on the couch, it's not a good look.
just being shit-faced and passing out in the middle,
like
it's probably not
10
a good
o'clock
look.
in the morning.
No, it's probably
It's not a good look.
No. That's
Especially when you have children.
fair enough.
But this is the lowest ratings the Indy 500 has had almost ever.
That's really surprising to me, given the
amount of attention that Alonso got. You would think that this would have been a record breaker.
I mean, I figured it wouldn't do. It would have a hard time beating last year, given that last year was the 100th.
Yep,
and that was a big deal. But I wouldn't have said it would done so poorly that it was one of its worst.
it was.
That's surprising to me.
It had a 3.6 overnight rating, which is like it beats the previous low of 3.8.
That's a little bit alarming, frankly.
It is. It's especially since it was a pretty exciting race to watch. Like your typical like NASCAR guys, like they want to see a wreck or whatever. They had that. It was good racing the whole way through. So, obviously, Spain had a good showing because they all were cheering for Alonso.
Wonder how those numbers are made. Not that I'm sure
Millions of people that are watching.
How do they know?
It's your job. You're a cable provider.
No, it's him and his survey thing.
Nielsen ratings.
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, yeah.
You're supposed to. You're
I wish
supposed
it
to
was
figure
me.
that
I'd
shit
have a
out.
whole lot more money if it was me.
I think one year, I don't remember when this was exactly, and I'm pretty sure it was Nielsen. They sent me an envelope with $5 in it.
Oh, I've gotten that.
I threw the rest of that shit away for sure. I'm sure that you're supposed to feel some sort of moral obligation if they pay you to.
Oh, see, I didn't get the dollars until after I sent.
Oh, really? They sent me $5 in an envelope, and I threw the rest of it away.
Oh,
Like a check or cash?
No, it was straight cash.
Really?
Straight cash. Show me. Yep.
Huh.
Mine. They sent me $2, and then I had to get more money if I sent it back.
I don't think I've ever got one. If I did, I just threw it straight in the
it took
trash.
like a
Never
minute.
even opened it.
Nope. But Fernando Alonso got Rookie of the Year because it's a voting based on the fans.
Interesting. Okay.
Even though
He's hardly a rookie, but okay.
even though the rookie Ed Jones got 3rd.
That's a bummer.
So
I'd be pissed if
Yeah.
if I was
that
Ed,
sucks.
and Ed Jones made less money
Oh, I'm sure.
because it's based on purses, and Alonso got $300 and some odd $1,000, and the 3rd place winner did not, or not. Third place guy did not.
That's a bummer.
Let's read them. I learned a lot this week about IndyCar purses and stuff like that. So, the winner, Takuma Sato, got $2.4 million
Hell yeah.
for the purse.
That's a nice.
That obviously goes
Okay.
to the team and
Right.
it's dispersed
Everybody,
to
yep.
a bunch of people. Ed Jones got $535,000. So I guess
Is this money straight from Indy? This isn't including like contingency and sponsorship.
this is just purse.
Okay.
Because I was going to get into that in a minute. Fernando Alonso got, I guess he only got 305. So I thought they said he got less. I misspoke. I apologize. So Ed Jones got $500,000 for his 3rd place finish, which is pretty cool. I didn't realize that IndyCar paid out purses per race, because I was looking at it because again, Alonso's been the whole talk of the whole last
Deal.
month.
Yep.
And they kept saying, "Oh man, he'll be back for sure. He's gonna transfer over to Indy, and like he's gonna just dominate." And I'm like, "There's 37 million reasons why he's not gonna." I mean, he gets $40 million salary from McLaren, Honda, and Formula One. He's not gonna make $40 million in IndyCar.
I don't know if you can say this for certain, but I would bet you that Indy 500 purses are.
Dramatically higher than anywhere else.
Yeah, you're not going to get that at streets of Long Beach, and that's even a big race for Indy.
It is a big race, and the Iowa Corn 300 is not going to give you a $2 million purse.
No,
so
total this all added up, it might be $2 million.
Yeah, there's a $13 million purse dispersed throughout for the Indy 500.
Jesus.
Whereas Formula One, there's no purses. You just get your flat rate based on contracts and other bullshit.
Word.
So we don't need to get into that, but so I watched that. That was cool. It was a good race.
What did you watch? You watched the F1 race
I also watched the Formula
Why
1
was
race.
somebody trying to drive on the wall at one point?
Because
that got crazy.
That was weird.
Yeah.
It was like the most strange crash I've seen because he hit the apex really and just kind of bounced in the air and slid into the wall on his side. And
Don't know.
that was
it
it.
was weird. Yep, it just
they-
happened, and okay.
Because the announcers didn't even know how to describe it, and then as they're like trying to figure out who it is, and like how the fuck that even happened?
Never seen that before.
No.
Bizarro.
I think it's it's like once in a lifetime type thing. It's like you couldn't recreate.
Weird
You couldn't
physics
recreate that.
happened there.
Was it
Probably flat Earth, but yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, for God's sake!
was it Raikkonen that was pole?
Yeah, Raikkonen had a hell of a pole.
Did you see the in car of that lap?
Yeah.
It looks fast forwarded. It looks like someone put that car or put that video on 2X and just put that on the internet.
The track is so fucking narrow.
It's out of control. He's flat on the throttle where I would have said you had to be braking. And he's flat through corners. Yeah. It's insane.
And there's nowhere to go.
The
if
level
it
of
goes
grip
wrong.
those cars produce. Just crazy.
The cars have clearly outgrown that track.
Yeah, definitely.
So I understand why they do it. It's a big draw. It's a whole festival thing. But yeah, they need to do something different with that track. As much as I do like watching Monaco, I think
I don't even know what you would do because where do you put any runoffs?
You'd almost need smaller cars or something.
A different race series there, which people would throw a fit about.
Yeah, because you can't hardly pass unless there's an accident. Like it's bad racing. It really is. Monaco is a bad race because people were waking up like, oh, what are you watching? No, Formula One. It's at Monaco. Can they do anything? Can they pass? Like, are they really going that fast? Yeah, they're going that fast.
As a Samba line.
Yeah, it's a weird race. But then Lewis Hamilton had like his worst qualifying he's had in almost his entire career.
Really?
And didn't McLaren qualify pretty well?
Gosh, what's his
If
name?
I remember right, McLaren qualified pretty well actually, which kind of sucks for
not the whole team. Jensen Button.
Yeah,
he would have.
Who was the guy that replaced Alonso?
Yep. So he actually, I can't remember exactly where he placed, but he had a 15 grid spot penalty because they had to change an engine component after he qualified.
Damn.
So he actually had a decent qualifying. I think he was like, I want to say 10th. I don't know if that's right, but he had a decent start. And then of course got all the way to the back, so no chance. But he would have finished the race had he again not crashed.
Yeah, Hamilton had some weird problems, and it was just more like bad luck than it was poor qualifying, poor performance.
Yeah, I think
it was more bad luck than poor performance for him. But he qualified. He was out earlier than he has been in like almost 10 years or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton started in 13th and finished in 7th. So he actually had a decent race.
That's
at Monaco, going up that many spots, unheard of.
It's a lot, yeah.
But it was basically the Ferrari show. It was just a parade.
Ferrari parade.
Vettel led 45 laps, and
Damn.
Kimi Räikkönen led 33.
That's crazy.
That's the whole race. That's all you need to know. Vettel. Räikkönen led for the beginning, and then Vettel took it over at the end, or the second half.
I didn't realize Ferrari hadn't had a win there since 2001.
That's a long time.
That's a long freaking time.
That's a real long time for them.
Especially for the team that gets $90 million from Formula One every year.
Yes. And then to get the top two spots.
Yep.
Very interesting. But
But of
Anyway.
course, yeah. Nothing more to say about Formula One.
no, not really. Should we move on to the other news items that we
More
have?
news. The final Chevy SS has been built.
With a manual.
That sucks.
It does.
It is really too bad. I think that's one of those cars that Chevy didn't advertise well.
No, definitely not.
I think
no.
not enough people knew about it.
I didn't realize they were in the States. I'll be honest with you. I'd never seen one. There's 13,000 that they made.
There's a few that show up in our Cars and Coffees pretty regularly.
That blue one.
There's a blue one specifically.
It's not a G8, and it's not a Caprice. It's an SS.
That's not the one that they try to say is a Holden, is it?
No, wait. Does that guy?
Yeah,
claim
a
it's
lot
Holden?
of them. A lot of them do
That's
that.
probably
They'll
part
do-
of the problem,
They do the
Robbie.
grill
That's-
swap and
okay,
say they're Holdens.
I have seen
those
those.
are SSs.
I've seen those in real life.
We
Never
should
mind.
address this. Why the fuck do you want a Holden and not an SS?
I don't get it.
Why would you want a Holden and not a G8? What it's like not.
What's wrong with a Pontiac
Well, it's not like
or a Chevy?
Holdens aren't cool. I mean,
There's
I don't
nothing
know.
special. About it.
Right?
It's
It's
the
not
same,
like
same car with a different body kit, and it's just nothing special about that kit either.
yeah. I don't
either.
get it even slightly.
'Cause-
And then that one guy that gets offended if you try to claim it's a G8, even though he's got Pontiac stitched in his.
In his seats,
Headrest,
yeah,
yeah.
and you call it a Pontiac, he gets really mad about it.
the steering wheel clearly says Pontiac.
Don't tell him that.
Well, didn't he spend like $1,200 on those bumpers or something? It was
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
And then they look. There was that one. There's that white one
That looks terrible.
It looked like they were plasti dipped
Ooh.
because he couldn't afford real paint, and they weren't white.
Yeah, I don't get this whole Holden conversion thing. It doesn't make any sense.
There's one in the town I live in. It's lime green. It's got Holden bumpers on it.
He put Holden shit on that one too.
I think that I think that there might be a way to order them that way.
Weird.
or you think
Because
you can just order? It's got to be the same paint.
This is recalling stuff that I didn't really care about, so I didn't read closely, and it was on Facebook, so you need to take it with a grain of salt to begin with. But I want to say that there was some level of special order that you could do through the dealership to get them with Holden stuff on them, but it took longer. And he went down to the dealership and he ordered
Asked
that
for it.
car in that color with those bumpers, and it took like 4 months to get here.
That's weird.
I don't
Whereas
get
he
it.
could have just bought the SS they had on the lot. But then it would have the Chevy bumpers.
I would be down with the color. Like if you had to order the color, because the color's sick.
I'm not a fan, but I don't like green.
It's
but
it's green.
it's a very
green.
unique color, and I can get that. I understand the special ordering special colors.
Yeah,
I'm
for
all
a car
about
that you're really excited about.
all about that.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't understand converting things to Holdens though.
No, I don't get it either. And
It's
like I
not-
said, I'm not sure that they are converting them. I think they're ordering them that way at extra expense. The one
Well,
in
that
Marshalltown,
may be true, yeah.
The one at Marshalltown, he converted it to that.
Yeah,
that was a G8.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's the one who gets real offended about it.
I don't understand that. I don't understand paying more and waiting more for bumpers either. But you know, I there's nothing else to say about that. I think it's dumb.
I'm still surprised this car didn't sell more.
Yeah,
It's a
it
cool.
was very reasonably priced for what it was.
Yep.
It was like, I mean,
You say that, but there were complaints. This is Jalopnik, so take that with a grain of salt as well. But there were complaints that it was too expensive. It was like $42,000 or $45,000 for a 6-speed LS3, 430 horsepower, 4-door sedan. What's the competition?
What did you expect to
a
spend?
Charger.
And those are more than that.
But to get that spec, you'd have to buy is it an RT even that spec, or do you have to go to an SRT 8? I mean, I don't
Get
know
that
without
much-
looking into these things very
Maybe not
closely,
that
but-
much horsepower. To
but-
get that much horsepower, you may have to get an SRT8.
But those I don't know that they're even comparably priced. I think they're probably more. And even if they are the same price, they're definitely not cheaper.
Correct. Yeah.
And yet they're selling the piss out of those cars
Yeah.
because you see Chargers everywhere.
But they advertise those.
I suppose.
Was there a lower spec SS, or was it only the LS?
I think you just
Three?
no. I think you definitely just got one engine, unless
Because like
you're
with the
getting
G8,
really-
you could get the V6 or the
yeah.
V8.
No, none of that.
Okay.
Because you could get, in the G8, you could get the V6, and then you could get the 350 horsepower,
Which was the GT,
and then you could get the GXP.
which was the V8.
Yeah. The LS, I think that was also an LS3.
Yeah, your Chevy SS is there's
One
just
spec.
a base model.
But
Your base model automatic, base model manual.
I think,
okay.
plus I think it, it doesn't look, it's not intimidating. It's not, but I thought it was a good looking car. I thought the interior was good looking.
I think it's a very good looking.
It's a very reasonable car. It just has a big LS in it.
Yeah, it's a sleeper.
It is a sleeper.
it's a
It looks
cool
like
car.
a Malibu. I think everything about it's cool.
Yeah.
That's one of the few segments that Ford doesn't currently fill. To me, they don't have a four-door V8 rear-wheel drive car you could buy.
Nope. No, they don't.
The only
Taurus
your own
SHO is the only thing you're
But
going to get close.
front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and not a V8.
Correct.
And
I
I don't
doubt
think you
manual.
can get a manual.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So anyway, that's a bummer, and they're shutting the plant down. So,
Ooh, double bummer.
yep, people are going to lose some jobs over that. So that sucks.
Indeed.
Shall we move on to something ridiculous?
Yep. So Rolls-Royce has made a swept tail, and it is going to be the most expensive car ever.
$13 million. Even after inflation adjustment for coach-built cars of the past, this is still the most expensive car ever sold. And it's fucking ugly.
I don't like it.
They've been developing this car since 2013.
The back of that car is terrible.
There's some bad things that it's not
looks
not
like-
well styled. Let's put it that
It
way.
looks to me like a full diaper.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of it there, Rev?
Yeah, it's
Can I see it?
bad. The back is so bad.
I could see. Yeah, it's kind of
The
like a
side
lump.
profile I kind of like. And the front's, just
It's okay.
standard roller. It's fine. But that back end is terrible.
Yep, that's exactly how I felt about it. Well, I mean, this is what happens when someone with more money than anybody walks into Rolls-Royce and says, hey, custom build me a car.
Whatever.
I don't want to have a custom builder do it. I want to have a manufacturer do it. So he's paying for them to create all the tooling, all the designs. I mean, everything.
He's
So-
basically paying a team's salary.
Yes.
Of who knows how many
for
people.
5 years.
Right.
To
Yeah.
design this car.
Yeah.
So if even if
When
they
you-
wanted to try to sell
When you
this.
talk it that way, 13 mil is not a bad deal.
No.
It's probably a pretty decent.
for what he asked of Rolls-Royce, $13 million is a fair price.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
It's insane.
It's dumb.
But I've always thought it was weird that the sky's the limit when it comes to yachts or planes or houses, but cars have never been that way.
No,
I mean,
no.
cars can be wildly expensive, but the most expensive car you could just buy is what, a $2 million Bugatti or $3 million
Yeah.
Bugatti, whereas I can buy a $500 million boat.
And then get it repossessed. But yeah,
Yeah, it's another story.
that's a side note. It's an
Yeah,
asterisk.
but this guy is
Got him laid. That's all that matters.
You just needed it for a day.
That's true. Yeah, so this guy he has everything. He's a connoisseur and collector of distinctive one-off items, including super yachts and private aircraft. So I mean, he's clearly spent buku money on everything.
I take issue with calling him a connoisseur because
That's what it's
I realize
self-described.
you are never a self-described
He's a
connoisseur of shit.
self-described connoisseur.
It's like somebody coming up to you and saying, I am a connoisseur of wine. It's like, well, I'm a connoisseur getting the fuck away from you.
Yeah.
You don't want to be around that person.
No, he sounds like an
Fine
asshole.
purveyor of the word rad.
You're a connoisseur of red.
Indeed.
We're running far away from you.
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
He's got to be the most arrogant person on earth.
Yeah, if you buy a $13 million
you
Rolls Royce
imagine-
and then you call yourself a connoisseur,
Can you
you
imagine how out of touch with the whole world that guy is?
Oh, it has to be.
It's just so out of touch. I bet he's a great time at parties.
oh no, I bet he's fucking god awful. He's just the worst person to be around in the entire world. This is a guy that has handlers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because he's
Yeah.
had no real negativity in his life. You know what I mean? So
No.
there's people that handle him.
He's got to
When
be
he
like
throws his
He's got to
fits.
be like a Saudi prince or something.
That's what I'm
right?
saying.
They
Yeah.
never do name him, do they?
No.
Or even where he's
Or
from.
no,
I don't
not
think,
even
yeah.
a country.
So yeah, it's definitely oil money, and it's third generation oil.
Or
money.
he's the dictator of some third world country but lives first world life.
maybe.
That
Could
would make
be.
sense too.
Like I can't think of the guy now, but the guy with the world's largest car collection. I can't think of what his name is.
No, I can't remember what it is.
The Sultan of Brunei. That's what it is.
It might be the Sultan of
Brunei's
Brunei.
like this tiny little island. It probably is him, frankly.
Yeah, yeah.
But he legitimately kept, I think it was even Rolls-Royce, basically kept them in business by buying so many cars for, a 12-year span at one point.
His staff and to have him driven around, stuff like that.
Yeah, because he has like a building with 1,000 cars in it, and most of them have never been driven. He just buys them.
That's insane.
He's got like, a dozen one-off Ferraris that have never, he took delivery on them, they got parked, and he's never even started them.
At what point?
His warehouses have rooms for different manufacturers, and all of them are wall-to-wall full, and he doesn't use any of them. Most of them are probably in such a state of neglect that they are not functioning cars anymore.
He's like the anti-Jay Leno.
Yeah, absolutely.
But his country is in a state of shambles. But he's
priorities.
Living it
His
up.
priorities are priorities.
Rolls Royce, clean water,
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you.
The admiration of my people, another one-off Ferrari.
Yeah. Avoiding a coup. Custom Lamborghini,
Although there are companies that are trying to get away from this type of lifestyle.
Are you transitioning, Robbie?
A little bit. Porsche plans to crack down on the GT car speculators, and they're not going to let people buy cars and just turn around and sell them.
Bubble burst. Bam, I was right.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to actually...
I think it's
you
very...
get on
It's a fun thought, but there's no fun.
You're going on a list.
Yeah, they're
That's
not
what
going
he
to
said.
follow through on this.
It's really
I
hard
think-
to police.
I think that they... it's going to take a while, but I think that they will to some extent because, they don't sell... The GTs aren't so astronomically expensive when you buy them that you can't, I don't want to say a normal person, but someone who's not the Sultan of Brunei can afford a GT.
Yes.
So the audience or the potential customer base for a GT is large enough that if you take the, pick a number, 100 people that speculate on cars and you say, you guys are on a list, you're not getting one anymore, there's going to be someone to come in and buy those cars that you would have sold to those guys.
Yes.
So I think it's not going to happen overnight, but I like the idea of Porsche keeping track of who these people are and saying, guess what? You're not getting one of these.
That, or if they would just say, you know what, there's clearly a demand for it. Why don't we just make more of them? So then they're not this ridiculous collectible. And then it's not, then like if he specifically says that he builds these cars to be driven.
Yeah.
If that's true, make more than 10 of them.
Yeah, like most of these cars are built to order anyway.
Yes.
So don't put a number on it.
No.
You sell one, you build it. You sell one, you build it. You sell one, you build it.
Yeah, it's if they're custom ordered, then who cares how
Because
many
most
you
of
make?
them are,
Usually, yeah.
Because, I want this stitch pattern and that color interior, and I need my carbon fiber illuminated door sills and shit like that. So, you order one, you sell it, you build it. You sell it, you build it. Don't put a limit on it. Don't say we're only going to build 500 of them.
Yeah, see, the thing
I'll build as many as I can sell.
yeah, that's my biggest hang up is that it's the reason they're doing that is because there's only a finite number of them.
Yeah, that's
So
exactly
if you
what
make
it
that
is.
number a little bit bigger, make it a little bit more available, drop the cost in general.
You could charge the same amount for the car.
You
It's not like
you really
Porsche-
could. You really
it's not
could.
like Porsche can't, do the demand. It's like McLaren can only sell so many because they can only build so many.
Yeah, same with Koenigsegg.
Porsche can build whatever they want.
Yes.
They're fine. So who cares?
Yep. As soon as you put a number on it, that's when the people that don't have anything to do with cars come out of the woodwork. Mm-hmm. Try to put their name on one.
But I appreciate where his head's at. I think that if they're serious about this, they could go a different direction and actually just...
At least they're aware of it.
Yeah.
Because the Porsche thing is out of control.
Yeah.
I just like that he quoted as saying, "We're not a hedge fund."
And they're not.
It's hilarious to me.
And it's got to piss them off that they build this car.
You pour your heart and soul into something so someone can park it in their garage.
Yeah, they
and
spend-
stare at it.
I'm not even talking that. I'm saying say Porsche builds this car, they design it, they have a whole team behind it, and they sell it for $180,000. And some jerk off buys it and turns around and sells it for $250,000. Fuck that guy.
Those 911Rs were
Whatever.
selling for $1 million.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Do you see
Someone
people
else is profiting off of
those
their work.
speculating assholes were pissed at him because they were going to offer a manual transmission in the GT3 all of a sudden.
Yep.
So they were pissed at him
Yeah,
Good.
because they're speculators. It's like, well, fuck you,
I
dude.
couldn't be more proud of this
I'm
guy.
gonna order another 1,000 of these then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guess what? We're not offering a double clutch at all anymore. in the
Manuals
GT3.
for everybody.
Fuck all of
Fuck
you
it.
guys.
You get a manual. You get a
Fuck,
manual.
I'm putting the 911R back into production.
That's what he should do.
That's why I don't run Porsche, because that's what I would do.
That's why we don't run companies at all.
This is the best feeling I've had towards Porsche in a long time.
I would agree, but
Yeah.
it's the Porsche fanaticism is.
The company themselves seem to
Out of
be
control.
good. The buyers seem to be bad.
I blame Singer. Not that I don't love Singer, but I think it's Singer's fault. I think they started this whole
Yeah.
absolute nonsense about Porsches.
But I don't think they did on purpose.
No, absolutely not. I blame Singer, but
Because
I
I
mean,
bet you that
I love Singer to
I'll
death.
bet
I
you
do.
that they want nothing more than to see their cars driven.
And I bet that they would like to be able to buy their cars at a reasonable price when they start restoring them. And I'm sure that now they're finding a real problem getting inventory. I know they don't make a lot of cars, but you used to buy a car for $30,000. Now you got to buy it for $60,000, and you still got to do a bunch of work on it. It's probably annoying
I've heard they have a 3-year backlog.
Wow.
for orders.
Yeah. They
That
could
makes
not
sense.
sell another car and still have work for 3 years.
That makes sense. I like Singer a lot, but I think they're to blame. I think they started in like 2010, maybe. I might be making that up, but you've seen the air cooled and Porsche just in general, like the ramp up of, oh, gotta have one, gotta pay a stupid amount of money for one. Did you see that? It was like an '80s. I don't know if it was just a turbo or an RS or what it was exactly, but it had like 3 miles on it.
It was a Carrera RSR.
There you go.
It is a full-fledged race car.
Had 3 miles on it or something like that.
I think it was 12.
$2 million plus dollars.
$2.25 million.
Did you see the interior?
No.
So the guy who ordered it ordered the RSR, which is a race car, and had him put a full, the most obnoxiously bright orange
Oh,
or
God.
red interior you've ever seen in your life. The door bars, the center console, all of the scaffolding, everything is wrapped in the most obnoxiously bright red leather you've ever seen in your life. Parked in his garage, forgot about it.
And somebody paid $2.25 million for
And
that.
they sold it dirty.
Yeah, it's filthy.
They sold it that way on purpose
Why?
because it's worth more that way.
That's-
That car's so original, it's
30-year-old
never
dirt,
even
bro.
been washed. That's how original that car is.
Oh, that car will never be washed.
It
either.
can only be original once, Robbie.
This is the world that we live in, Robbie.
Look at that
Dude,
face.
Dude, didn't somebody pay $1 million for a manual M5 wagon or some bullshit? What was that?
I don't think it was $1 million. It was well into the hundreds.
Oh, you're right. It
though.
was like 130,000 or
Wasn't
something.
it on Bring a Trailer?
What the fuck is going on, man? It was an 80 or
Bring it back a notch, people.
I just want to
early 90s M5
The
wagon,
second
130.
gen M5, I want to say.
Yeah, like $130,000 or something. The fuck are we doing, man?
Calm down, people.
What are we doing?
Calm down.
I just want to put a lit Zippo and just throw it in the window. Be like, all right, well, solved all your problems. Go buy something.
Robbie, think of the number of S15s you could have if you sold that,
or 2.5 or 2.25.
or
You
the
know what I
house
would
you
do?
could have.
If I had the money for that car, I would have bought it, washed it, and tracked it.
Oh god, that'd be so awesome.
Actually, that's probably what I would do if I was like uber rich.
Just a big fuck.
Like,
you
just
to
had so
everything.
much goddamn
if
money.
if I win this, $310 million Powerball jackpot that's going right now, buying stupid shit like that and pissing people off.
Track
with
day, bro.
That's what the
Actually-
the Sultan of Dubai or whatever should be
Brunei.
doing. Whatever, who cares? That's what you should
Dubai.
be doing. Just
Brunei.
pissing people off. Just buy cars like these and then track.
Why stop at your own people? You could be pissing everybody off.
Exactly.
Do you see that Tyler dude that now works with Doug, Mini Doug, as I like to call him? He had that. He bought that.
I don't follow Big Doug, so no.
They're all over at Auto Trader now, and so
Yeah, I
he
know.
had that
And I
911
refuse to follow that Oversteer page because I
It's
don't want to.
sponsor all over the
I
place.
don't like Doug DeMiro.
Yeah, well, it's Doug and Mini
It's
Doug now.
blasphemy, I know, but,
But
I said it.
I will say, no, it is not blasphemy.
No,
He's obnoxious.
I don't
He's
even-
still doing the same shit he was doing when he was at Jalopnik. It's the
Yep.
exact same stuff. Anyway, he bought that 911 that they claimed was like the highest mileage 996 in the country.
Yeah.
And then he oil starved it, I think, at a track and blew it up. Or
This is my shock face.
Yep, he did something he shouldn't have done, and he blew it up. I mean, I had a lot of miles on it, but he ultimately blew it up.
Right.
So now he's LS swapping it.
Kudos to him, actually. I'm okay with that.
Think of the anger. Think of the anger on the internet for this.
All of the anger.
I'm strangely okay with it, though.
It's a
More people should
996.
do it.
I
Who
mean,
cares?
But here's the problem with LS swapping a 996. You know what it costs to rebuild a 996 motor?
Way too
You
goddamn
want to just
much.
just throw a number out there?
Are those an IMS motor?
Yeah, but also remember that the whole car with reasonable mileage you could buy for 20, 25 grand.
Okay, well,
keep that in mind.
when you've prefaced it that way, I'm going to say 20 grand.
To rebuild the motor?
Yeah.
Depending on who does it, let's just say 10 grand or more.
So half of the value of the car.
Yeah, just to rebuild the motor.
Hard
You may
pass.
have to get it out. You may have to, whatever. But just give me 10 grand for the sake of this conversation. Do you know how much the LS swap kit costs, not including the motor?
$2,500.
It's $10,000.
God damn it.
So it doesn't make any sense to LS swap a 996.
It does, though.
Well, it does.
Because you're
yeah.
only going to do it once. That 996 motor, you're going to do twice.
Hopefully not, but yeah. Hopefully it's somebody else's problem later down the road. But that's a crazy expensive kit. I assume that comes with all the parts,
That's a
though.
Porsche
I would hope
tax.
a header and yeah, there's Porsche tax on there for sure. Because I mean, what's really holding the motor in? Some modified motor mounts. I mean,
Yeah, that's it.
Probably uses the factory trans.
yeah. Actually, I didn't
Because
look
people
into
have
what
been
it had
bolting
for.
those Porsche Transes to the back of small block Chevys and putting them in mid-engine cars for years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's actually an easy setup.
I'm pretty sure the 996 is the trans you get for the Ultima.
Or the DDR or any kit
Yeah.
car.
Yeah, the factory 5
Probably that
Yeah.
super,
Whatever that
probably
is.
that,
GTM.
Yep.
I think.
probably that car that you wanted too, that SLC.
Oh, yep.
Probably all those. I'm
That's
pretty
all
sure
that-
that's the 996 trans.
Yeah, or that Getrag. Is it Getrag? No, it may not be.
Whatever they use in the
5-speed.
Audi, the R8, that's a pretty popular trans as well.
The R8 trans?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I
That'd be
think that
expensive.
trans came in more than just the R8.
Oh,
I think that's one of those deals. You know, like the ZF now, like everybody's got the ZF.
oh, okay.
You
Yep.
know, we'll
Yep.
sell you this trans, and then you just figure it out from there.
Yeah, fair enough. But anyway, that's an expensive swap kit.
Worth it.
Yeah.
The problem is that he bought that car because it was the highest mileage 996 in the country, and it was probably one of, if not the cheapest 996 for sale in the country.
It was like $9 grand or something.
And that was the whole gag.
Yep.
And then he blew up the motor, and now he's going to drop, 15 grand into putting a motor in it.
Yeah,
Because he's not going to do it himself.
it's kind of a dumb gag, but yeah.
Or he's going to
Why would you-
buy an
I guess-
E-Rod or something like
if-
that. So he's going to end
yeah.
up with a ton of money in it.
I wouldn't
still.
purposely have starved it or whatever.
Did
You know
he?
what I mean? I have to look that up specifically, but it
I
sounded
care
like
enough to look it up.
it sounded like it started to go, and he could have like backed out of it and diagnosed the situation a little closer, and he took the fuck it approach. It was on a track.
The red mist descends. You get it.
I do get it. I've not blown up. I kind of blew up a motor, but I didn't fully blow. If
you
I had
didn't
known it
know
was
it.
going, if
Yeah,
I
you
knew it
would've
was
left
going, I would have stopped for sure. Are you looking it up, Robbie?
I can't find it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Blowing a motor that you have another one of sitting in a shop and would cost you $3,000 to rebuild entirely
Is different.
is different.
Though that said, if I worked for Auto Trader and I knew that they were going to pay me for a gag, I would have blown up a motor too. You know what I mean?
It's a lot
I don't know how
better-
much of that gets paid for, but
It's much more clickbaity.
it's very clickbaity because people were not happy. People were pissed.
You're on one side of the fence or the other on that. You're either pissed that he blew it up or you're like, hell yeah, LS swap the world.
More people were pissed that he was taking a Porsche and putting a Chevy. motor in it.
Hashtag I'd LS swap that.
But the vast majority of people, it's like the same people that
We need that shirt.
don't like it when we do need that shirt when you take out rotaries and stuff. It's the same people. My question
I
for
can do
those people, being as civil as I can be, is: have you ever swapped a motor before?
No.
And have you ever blown up a motor before? Those would be the
Have
two
you-
questions I'd
Have
like
you
to ask.
ever paid for the rebuild on a rotary?
That would also be a question I would ask. Because I know that's
Do you even own one of these?
that's another question you could also ask. I'm just saying, don't come hard out of the gate.
Those are good questions.
Don't come hard out of the gate with why didn't you put a rotary back in it, or how dare you get rid of that SR20 if you haven't done it.
If you're going to open with why an LT1, perfectly reasonable question.
That's a reasonable question.
But don't open with why'd you do that instead of putting a rotary back in it?
That's a fair question. I'm also, to be fair and not specific, I would say the same thing for SR20s. Unless you've dealt with it, just let it go.
But
Just let it go.
do you in the Nissan community see people being upset about LS swaps?
Yes, because
Really?
you got the fanboy JDM types that think that it has to be the stock one or like an SR20 swap, because that's like what it came with, even if the Sylvia technically wasn't what we got. Because like when I had the SR20,
Because technically you put an SR20 in, it's now
it's
a 200
Sylvia. Yeah,
SX.
it's a Sylvia.
It's not a 240 anymore.
Yeah. So people are like, depending, it's a different group. So like you got the JDM types and the fanboys that are like that stick with just Nissan, and then you also have the other end of the spectrum, which is the LS is clearly the better engine. That makes sense. So you have more people seem to be on board with the LS. And it's just the fanboys that get all weirded out.
Some people think it's lazy, though. Like, you see the people that are kind of...
Have you ever swapped an engine?
Outside of the community? That's what I'm saying, dude. But you see people like, oh, that's fucking lazy.
That's an easy swap.
That's an easy swap. Okay, let's take a step back for a second. Have you ever swapped an engine before? Have you taken an engine out, done something with it, and put it back in? Let's start with that.
Have you tried shoehorning headers for 8 fucking hours?
Hardest motor that my dad has ever put in a vehicle was the 2.2 liter 4-cylinder in my S10 that it came out of.
That doesn't surprise me.
He's put big blocks in 1962 Pontiac Tempests that had 120 some odd cubic inch 4-cylinders in them from the factory. That was easier.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, it
I'm
is
not even really sure how I got here, but just...
Yeah.
So
somebody swap something, just unless you've done it, just...
Shut up. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. Unless you can tell me about the time that you swapped this engine and that you're like a master mechanic and you know everything about everything. I don't want to hear it.
So here's what I think is funny about this. In the Dodge, the front wheel drive Dodge community, you would think that those guys, especially with like the Shelby cars, they're like, don't you dare. But
yeah, you'd think.
There's a guy who's got a GLH-T, not an S, just a T, that he pulled that I don't know if he bought it blown up or if he blew it up, but he pulled it out, put a 4G63 out of an Evo in it.
Jeez.
And people are like, that's fucking sweet. I've never seen a single person be like, what the fuck did you do that for? Every single time he posts something about it, people are like, dude, that's awesome. That's genius.
Yeah. No, there's a guy at work that, he's an old drag racer type. He's been done racing his whole life. Right now, he said he's incapable of like laying on the floor and working, so he just has a stock Corvette. But he came up to me, and goes, "Hey, I heard that you swapped that Nissan. You had a big V8 in there." I was like, "Yeah, that's fucking awesome." Like I've never really spoke to this guy before in my entire life. Like I've had this car forever, and
yeah,
just like, oh, now it's got a V8 in it. It's hot rod to him. That's hot rod because I took a car that didn't have a V8 and I stuffed a V8 in there. It's the old school hot rod mentality to him.
Times are changing, bro.
Yeah, even if he's not into the car, like that's not his style. The attitude of swapping a big V8 into a small car that didn't have a V8 is, to me, that's a hot rod thing.
That's why I really, really want you to bring your car to All American Sunday at Good Guys here in Des Moines.
You wouldn't believe how difficult that has made my planning of 4th of July, because I got my family goes, "Hey, what are you doing for 4th of July?" And then you got Jess's family, "Hey, what are we doing for 4th of July?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm going to a car show."
I'm going to. So this year we're actually going to have, this year's going to be kind of we're going to be the blasphemy crew, because Chaz is going to have his Miata there. I'm hoping you're going to have yours there. I'm hoping maybe even Michael will have the RX-7 there maybe.
If I have tires, that would be my...
And then I'll be there with the Omni, which isn't really blasphemy, but it's going to be super funny to like see the look of confusion on everybody's face with a 240 with a V8, an RX-7 with a V8, and a Miata with an Ecotec 4-cylinder in it. It's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, I've never would have expected the positive reaction that car gets now.
From the older crowd?
Just in general. Like I pull up, when I was driving to Sioux Falls in the middle of that storm, and I pull up into a gas station to make sure everything's going well because
Yeah.
I'm still shaking out the car, making sure everything's running right.
Probably one of the first long drives you've made.
It absolutely was the first long drive I had, so I stopped every 100 miles just to double check everything.
I still do that in the Omni. I've owned it 4 years.
Yeah, probably, I did that with the SR22. But the first thing I do is I pop out of the car, I kind of look it over, and all of a sudden I hear from across the gas station, someone's like, "What engine you got in there?" I was like, "LS." "Man, that's cool. That car's that's cool." I was like, "All right, have fun with your weed." I don't know. I'm happy with it. Finally,
It's like I said, times are changing. There's a former Formula D competitor that is now the host of Hot Rod. So shit's weird, man.
it's crazy.
It's getting all mixed up. It is a crazy world. That
Did you see what Hurt Life did with his car?
he put a rotary in it?
Put a rotary back in it. Pulled the LS out. Put the rotary back in.
I give it a year before the LS is back in it, if he still has that car.
Let's be realistic. It's not running yet, so
I give it 6 months.
more power to you.
There's a week till Grid Life, and he doesn't have a running car.
Yeah, that LS will be back in it.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he did that.
We'll see what he's got at Grid Life.
I mean, I could
I think that it's a publicity stunt
probably because now
he's,
rotary fanboys.
he's really pushing that YouTube channel life right now.
Oh, I
and-
see.
and-
Yeah.
That's really gonna your Instagram game is strong now
With rotary friends, yeah.
because all the LS lovers are gonna be like, "What the fuck did you do that for?" And all the rotary haters are gonna be like, "What the fuck did you do that for?" And then 6 months, a year down the road, he's gonna flip
Pop it out.
and it's gonna start all over again. It keeps his Instagram game strong. It keeps his views up. It keeps his comments going. Publicity stunt.
I mean, I don't know what his situation is exactly, but if I had relatively unlimited money, I'd have an FD turbo. I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Why not?
Yeah, but if I have the choice, you better bet that rotary's going in the trash can.
Yeah.
Well, if I had that car and somebody came up to me with a running rotary motor for a good price,
Yeah, it's built, ready to
Why
go.
not?
Here you go, dude.
I'll throw it in there. And if I blow it up, I'll put the LS back in it. It's not that big a deal.
No, it's really not in that chassis. End the show.
No.
Why are we not?
Where are we going? Like, what are we doing in
Oh,
the next
man.
couple of weeks?
Grid Life.
Well, first off, if you're listening to this on Sunday as it comes out, I will probably be at the Iowa Event Center racing. So if
It's
you're
true.
if you're listening to this right now,
You've
it's-
already missed meet
you
and greet.
started listening at noon, which means this is about 2:00, which means you should get your butt down here and come race with us. If you're like
Because you're
everybody
probably
else
about done.
Yeah.
DMVR's starting early this year now.
yeah, like
You're probably
9
almost
starts
done.
at, like check-ins done by 9.
You've already missed meet and greet.
Yep.
Hopefully, we've done rad things with our rad friends, and you were involved in it.
Hashtag
Hashtag wet. Hashtag rad. Hashtag
red.
lit.
lit.
100 emoji. Fire,
Yeah,
fire,
hashtag
fire.
gnarly. Dude. 100.
There's a Carl's and Coffee, the Grid Life weekend. If you're not going to Grid Life because you're a square,
You're not rad.
you are not rad.
Square, man. Isn't that also an 80s thing?
I don't know,
Calling
but I
somebody
just said
square.
it. I just said it.
Yeah, that is an 80s thing, isn't it? There's a whole song about that.
Do you know why they say that? Be there or be square?
Nah, man.
Because I'll be around.
That's weird,
Nah?
man.
Huh?
I don't know if that's true, but I like it.
I don't know if it's true either. I just remember somebody said it.
Grid Life's really the big thing.
Yeah. Be there.
We're going to be at Grid Life. You need to come and find us. We're going to have stickers at least, maybe some other cool free swag potentially.
Allegedly.
Definitely for sure stickers. If you want some stickers, if you want to come shake our hands, we'll sign autographs, kiss babies, whatever it
I'm
is
not
you want
kissing
from
any
us.
babies.
Nope.
Don't bring any babies.
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
It's
for a
really
while.
not the right environment for babies.
It's not a good environment for a baby.
As the current owner of a baby, it's not the right place.
Definitely come up and say hi.
Please.
I'm super socially awkward, so I'll get
This
real
is fake,
quiet.
bro.
I'll say, hey, thanks for listening, and it'll get super weird because I won't know what to say.
Make sure and ask Robbie why he didn't put a rotary in the 240. That's
ask me,
usually a
ask
good way
me
to
a
start.
lot of
Oh, I
questions.
like that.
Just the conversation will go a lot better if you just ask me questions because I'm not good at small talk. It's funny because I have a written podcast and I'm terrible at small talk.
It's interesting.
I am the world's most outgoing introvert. I've said it before. I'll say it again.
It would not surprise unless somebody comes up to me. I'll spend the whole Grid Life completely silent.
He says that, but last year when we were stuck
That's
in the
different.
line,
Yeah,
remember he
what
just
the fuck
hopped
was
out of
that
the car
about?
and just like, gone, give it business card. You listen to
didn't
podcasts?
have-
Here.
That was one question and I hand him a card. That's not a conversation. I can
It's
do
not
that.
a conversation if they'll respond.
But
or
I
you
would
don't listen.
not. I would not be able to do that. I couldn't just
that's
walk
nothing.
down a line. Just.
Oh, that's nothing.
No,
that's
it's weird.
That's fine. But if I would have had to stand there for like another minute talking to them, I wouldn't have been able to do that. It'd be, well, see you later. I got 1 minute. That's it.
He's got a little tiny window. He's got one question to ask, and then that's it.
Exactly. I didn't have a follow up question for if they.
Do you
had,
like podcasts? Fuck no.
All right, see you later. Yep. Now we're done.
What's
Yeah.
a podcast?
I don't know. It's a radio.
It's on
show.
the internet. Shut up, nerd.
Here it is.
Radio show. Huh?
All right. Be a
next
good
week.
life.
Yep.
See you guys next week.